In certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme, we're too wild, we're too out of control, we're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Strike the show.
Hello? Hello? Good evening. Is anybody... Nobody's here. Hi, how you doing? It's the Steel Toe Evening Show. I'm Aaron, you're here. And that's really all that matters. If I'm here and you're here, we can do a show. I've got clips tonight. I do. There's a bunch of them. There's a shitload of clips. They're all over the place. And honestly, the clips we've got, very, very good. Marc Maron. Marc Maron might have sold me on, like, being nicer to trans people. Like, okay, there's a couple of things that have me go and be nice to trans people. Like, number one, I just don't like the way progressives are using them as, like, this wedge in the, what do you call it, the culture war type of shit. I don't like that. Like, it makes, and also, every time they start with this social bullshit, every time they start with, like, this is a big problem, BLM's bullshit, trans people are gay, blah, blah, blah. It's always distracting you from something bigger. Like, it's always distracting, and it's usually distracting you from something that's fucking over people who are like liberal and conservative. Like, it's usually things that fuck over you and I. Like, look at all the bullshit social issues they've distracted us with, mostly race-related or gender or sex-related, for like the last 50, 60 years, while our monetary policy has been completely in the shitter. And we don't care, and it doesn't bother us at all, and we just go along and... You know, who gives a shit if, like, in our lifetime, shit's gone up, 3-4-fold? You know, we got to make sure that 3 people a year aren't playing basketball with girls. Like, I'm going to say this, and this might be controversial, and stop me if I'm out of line. I will let female power forwards in high school basketball get blasted in the face by trans people elbows if it means we can balance the fucking budget and pay down the debt. You can. I don't care if every high school gym is filled with the little busted off chiclets of elbows from trans female centers. I wear a mouth guard, because if it means that we can balance the budget, if it means we can solve the debt, and it means we can, stop foreign wars, I would make that trade. The problem is we're doing all of that bullshit on top of the teeth, and they're throwing dildos on basketball courts. I mean, for God's sake, we can't win. But I was thinking about this on the way home today. I was like, we're getting fucked. We're getting fucked super hard. We're not in charge of our country. Our country was taken over in a coup in 1963 in Dallas, and we got turned into a corporation. And nobody fucking cares. In fact, if you point it out, they look at you like you're fucking insane. And you're not. You're right. You know what you're talking about. You know of which you speak. And it's like, we should all be mad enough to kill over that. Like, we should all be mad enough. Like if you're a patriot and you love your country, the fact that that happened, we first of all need to recognize. And then once you recognize it, you go, we need to take it back. And but that affects white people, black people, working class, poor people, like everybody but the elites. That's a fucking crazy thing that needs to get fixed. So if you're the elite, how do you fix that? You pick emotional hot button issues and you take those people who would otherwise cut your head off and you get them to fight each other over trivial shit like bathrooms, basketball courts, shit like that, while you buy all their houses and you ruin all their money and you spend their kids' generational wealth through inflation and taxation. That's how you do that. At any rate, welcome to the show. I think we're going to have a great one. A lot to be excited about. Sorry, I did. Thank you, Nova, by the way. I did. I appreciate that. I did. That's what I did. It's one of those things where, no matter what you do, people who get too much internet into their system, they've got to complain. So thank you, Nova. I agree with that. Eric Cartman says, remember as well, Aaron, when that transgender walks into your daughter's bathroom, you choose money over safety. I said the basketball court thing. I didn't say the bathroom thing. The bathroom thing is a lot different. The bathroom, I already solved this problem, by the way. I solved this problem when I said we have a penis bathroom, we have a vagina bathroom. That's it. We're done. Solved. The basketball thing, I balance the stupid what you're failing to understand, the point you're failing to understand is that you will stay red hot mad over all of this shit forever, and they will hold you down, and they will fuck you in the mouth, and they will take your country from you, and you will accept it because, I gotta win over those trans people. So, I mean, pick your battles, I guess, but like, I understand you're beaten down. I get that, so you pick the ones you can win, but okay, let's say we win that one. Then what? What did we get ultimately? Wow, shit stayed exactly the way it is. Meanwhile, we continue to get fucked. Really hard. Bocephus the Negromancer says, next it will be anal beads bouncing off the walls. Yeah, are they going to just keep going with the dildos at the WNBA games, or is this going to be different? Are we gonna switch it up? I know that the dildos, like, it turned out to be some kind of promotion. Like they were promoting some kind of online thing with the green dildos. I heard about this on a podcast. Otherwise I would have had no fucking idea what they were doing with the dildos. But alas, the dildos are a thing. I want to thank a great start to today's show. Anonymous with $75 says, big sick dick drop. Thank you for the $75. You don't want me to put this under, I mean, I guess I can put it under anonymous. We can do that, but thank you for the 75. Give that man an Olbermann.
They are afraid.
Thank you very much. Let's update our standings and put that big bad Anonymous in first. Anonymous at $75. Rabbi Smoothie, I love that name, in second with 50. Labglass in third with 30. Miss Tay in fourth with 20. And Captain Joe is in the cuck chair. Whoops. Hold on a minute. There we go. Cuck chair, Captain Joe with 20, and unfortunately that means Awful Waffle falls out of the cuck chair. There we go. Thank you very much for that 75. That is a big, sick dick drop. It's a very fucked up, weird thing to have to say, but it's true. It's a big, sick dick drop. 130 is our number for tonight. Feel free. Feel free. I appreciate that. Rusty Grammar says, YouTube says fake dono. I got bad news, YouTube. I can't eat a fake dono. I can't make payroll on fake donos. So if they're fake, That would be the most retarded, self-damaging thing I could do. But YouTube, hey, look at me, baby. It's nice to know that I'm still up here rent-free. And it's also nice to know that I drive you guys so nuts that you have to create your own realities. And I love that you're stupid enough to not know that every time you come here, it's a cell phone on your part. Thank you. We love you. And you don't even know that you're the butt of the joke. Thanks. Big thank you. All right. We got, so 1:30 is our number for tonight. Thank you very much. Just start throwing 5s and 10s out there. We'll be done before 7 o'clock. 21 gifted memberships on Rumble, away from 300. And 21 gifted memberships from 300 gives you guys until 9 o'clock. We always say if we hit that big milestone number, we give you guys a little extra time. So 21 memberships away from 300. Thank you very much. Gray Duckling with $2 says fake $2 here. Thank you, Gray Duckling, for that fake $2. I appreciate that. You're going to trigger people. You better knock it off. Sandy Squatch, becoming a member for 38 months, says good evening, everyone. Good evening, Sandy. Thank you for renewing your memberships, and thank you, everyone that renews their memberships here on the toe. I need some help. And to those of you saying, yeah, no shit, I don't mean like that. I need some help. I had a dream last night. And, you know, I've always heard that telling people about your dreams is the most entertaining thing you can possibly do. I had a dream last night, and this makes zero sense. I haven't seen this person in a movie. I haven't seen this person on a TV show in forever. Last night, I had a dream that I was like either a detective or a private. I was some kind of law enforcement guy. And I was in a school where there was a school shooter. And I was pursuing the school shooter with... That's not the weird part. The weird part is my partner on the case was Russ Marquand. Now, if you don't know who that is, that's the guy who played Aaron on The Walking Dead. That is such an obscure actor. I've never seen him in anything else. I don't know of any shows or movies he's in, but I was chasing down a school shooter. And at one point, the school shooter was hiding in like a daycare, like foam plaything. And he floated up like a balloon of his own head. And I was shooting at it. But when I would shoot, the bullets would be very slow and they'd arc. And you could tell that if they hit a person, they would never hurt them. And then at the end of the dream, Ross Marquand and a couple other people are just lighting this fucking dude up. And their shots are going fucking crazy. My gun, it lobs. It doesn't really shoot. So Ross Marquand and a couple other people, like SWAT team guys, are lighting this guy up. One of the bullets goes through the drywall, hits me in the back, comes out my stomach, and I go, oh, fuck. And then I woke up. Make sense of that. Why were Russ Marquand and I from The Walking Dead hunting down a school shooter, and why did I get hit with a stray? I don't know what. Now, Nova says the limp bullets mean a limp dick. That's not good. That's not good. Rexstart Parody Account says, I don't know who Ross Marquand is, but you just killed him. That's true. If he dies, that's 100% of the deal. Sam Show says the moral of that story is your dick doesn't work. Sounds like ED, bro. Better get that checked. I got to tell you, my dick works fine. I know from last night, my dick works great. There's nothing wrong with my dick. I don't know what the gun shooting, lobbing bullets means. Eric Cartman says, you know what happens when you die in your dreams? Well, they say you die in real life. Dream about a gun that shoots weak. Dreaming about a gun that shoots weak or malfunction can symbolize a feeling of powerlessness, a fear of not being able to protect yourself, or a struggle with expressing your emotions. All right, I fucking hate some of you. There, I expressed my emotions. I love most of you. Loaded Wrench with $2 says, stop eating before bedtime. That could be a good one. That might be part of the, but I didn't. I made, check this shit out. I made the most delicious Ryan the Garbage Man says, my advice, stop eating pepperoni and sausage burritos from Quick Trip before bed. All right. The chat seems to believe that this dream could come from eating before bedtime, but I didn't. I made a delicious Italian sausage spaghetti sauce, and I fucked with that recipe, and I dicked it around 6 ways to Sunday. It was perfecto. Perfecto. It was great. But I didn't eat it close to bed. I ate it like 7:30. I went to bed at 11. There's no reason why that wouldn't be an eating thing. Nader P. Nader P says, the shot going into my back and out my stomach means your guts are going to get rearranged by a back shot. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Hulkamasha Baby says it means your sex life is flaccid and you need men to get stronger shots. You guys are, that's not what the dream analyzer thing says. Rexstart parody account says no Italian sausage gravy before. Oh, that's right. I forgot we call it gravy. Deutsch Chad says, what did you stir it with? I stirred it with just a plastic spatula. Was I supposed to, like Sean and Marley, use wooden spoon? Professor Tie-Dye says mixing 2 types of canned Chef Boyardee isn't homemade. That's not what I did. That's not what I did at all. My Lost Interest says gun dreams mean you're having doubts about your sexual orientation. No, it doesn't. That's not true. Dream about stopping a school shooting. If you had a dream about stopping a school shooting, it can be a distressing and impactful experience. Dreams are often a way for our minds to process emotions. Could be processing fear and anxiety, a desire to protect and help, inner conflict or challenge, and resilience and strength. See, I'm a strong black woman. That's what Google says about my dream. Dream about stopping a shooting with Ross Marquand. See what that means. Dreams of stopping violence. When a celebrity like Ross Marquand appears in your dream, it can symbolize a desire for certain qualities or traits associated with them, or it might reflect a need for more recognition or attention in your own life. Given his role as Aaron in The Walking Dead, a character who navigates dangerous situations and protects his community, Ross Marquand could represent qualities such as courage, resilience, or their ability to act effectively in the face of threats. He was also gay in that show. So I want to stop violence and take action with a guy who played a gay dude in a popular TV show. This is something. This is something. All right, getting shot in the back. Dream about getting shot in the back and through the stomach. Let's see what that one says. It is important to remember that dreams are very personal and their meaning can vary. It means it's going to say I'm gay. Dreams about being shot often symbolize feelings of vulnerability, powerlessness, or feeling under attack in some aspect of your waking life. I feel pretty good. Being shot in the back can be particularly significant, suggesting feelings of being betrayed or hurt by someone you trusted. I don't have that. The stomach is associated with your gut feelings or intuition, so a shot to the stomach could indicate that your instincts are being challenged or you're feeling attacked in areas related to your core beliefs and emotion. I'm starting to think that maybe dreams are a bunch of bullshit and maybe it is the gravy before bed. That might be it. Either way. Nova says Keanu and Gino. Nova, you do, like, I mean this with all respect, buddy, and you're a funny character to me because you are like the stereotype of what I'm talking about, and I know you get mad at me for it. You live in the internet, bro. You gotta take a break. You gotta take a break, buddy. Switchblade Proper says, and I gotta be honest, you're a bit much. Like, you're a bit kind of like autistically coming on strong. Everyone ever say you're overbearing? No offense. Switchblade Proper says, I just got here. Aaron is dreaming about getting back shots. That's really kind of what they're intimating. No more dreams with Russ Marquand from The Walking Dead. We're just going to move on past that. We've got a lot going on tonight. I'm very excited. I'm sorry to make fun of the more serious of you tonight. I don't mean to do that. Just know that if you come at me all serious, you're going to get goofed on. That's the way this show has been for 10 years. That's the way it's always going to be. Anyone who takes themselves really seriously is usually going to get fucked on. And a lot of you internet types, no offense, you guys are fucking funny to laugh at. Because you don't know that you're the butt of the joke, and that's the best part. All right, let's talk about this. I almost said my lost interest. Too lazy to try. I like this guy's videos, but he's another example of a guy who, again, is probably in front of a phone and a computer too much. He overanalyzes everything. Some of his stuff is hard for me to watch because I'm like, dude, you got to go for a fucking walk. Like he'll watch one comedian say one thing to it. He's obsessed with comedians, especially like Rogan style comedians. And if one Rogan comedian says something else about another Rogan comedian, this Too Lazy to Try guy is like, well, it's clearly over for Bert Kreischer. These people clearly hate his guts and they don't like him. And you can see that they're annoyed with him and they're finished with him. And he's all done. And it's like, dude, this is what I mean by too much internet. Those of us who have friends, we know that your friends will insult you sometimes. Your friends will make fun of you. Your friends will tease you. It's a really kind of a bitch, like a girl in high school kind of a thing to be like, that guy said something negative about this guy. So therefore, oh my God, I bet you they hate each other. And I bet you that they'll never talk to each other. Like that's... No offense, girls in high school think that way. So sometimes when I watch his stuff, I'm like, bro, just take it easy. You're seeing shit that ain't there. But the one he did recently, I think really hit. You know the Patrick Bet David? I got to say something about this Patrick Bet David guy. I think he ought to just do his show by himself or find like one Anna Kasparian type to be his fiery co-host, and that's it, because he's got this guy, and I didn't know this guy existed. I watched 2 clips of him today, and I thought this might be the most unlikable human being to ever get in front of a microphone, and that's coming from a shock jock. So this guy, Adam, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the PBD podcast, but this guy, Adam, on PBD, I guess Patrick Bet David had this great idea to bring his whole staff to Las Vegas, and they were going to do this really big Las Vegas event with a podcast and a whole deal, and they were going to record the podcast early in the morning. Well, this Adam guy apparently went out and got fucking shit hammered on tequila before they recorded the podcast. He came to the podcast reeking like booze. They're fucking... Now, this is one where Too Lazy to Try read the room properly. His autism helped him because they were fucking fuming at this Adam guy. Now, I watched another clip of this guy, Adam. He's arguing with some Arab dude about Israel, and he just sounds like a fucking retard. I mean, this guy is every fucking meathead who read one news headline and thought they knew everything about, or they watch one like Mark Levin show and they're like, got it. I can argue anybody. So he's arguing this Masef something, Yusuf. He's all over the place on these Israel podcasts. And he's looking like a stupid asshole against this Arab guy. Well, PBD, Patrick Bet David, Patrick Bet David said some dumb shit in this clip too. This Adam guy shows up fucked up. Now, I'm going to tell you this. That's Patrick Bet David's fault. You bring your crew out to Las Vegas and you don't expect them to get fucked up. If you don't want your crew being unprofessional and getting fucked up, don't take them to Las Vegas. Don't have a live show in Las Vegas. Either have a vacation or have a work thing. Don't try to do both. Second of all, as the host, this is something, unfortunately, you kind of have to plan for. Nobody who does your show with you is going to give a fuck about your show as much as you do. So this Adam guy, when he's out in Vegas, he's not thinking, oh, got to do a great show. His job is to show up and react to you. That's it. That's all he's got to do. And he feels, I can do that job shit-faced. If this Adam guy was the host and he was hammered and just being a dipshit, then you might be able to say something. But no offense to Patrick Bet-David, that's your boy. Like, that's your guy. So we have this clip from Too Lazy to Try. And I will say, the fact that Patrick Bet-David thinks that little kids listen to his show is adorable and horrifying at the same time. Let's go ahead and check this out. This is easily one of the most hateable guys in podcasts.
I can't believe that you would associate with Andrew Tate. I can't believe that you would talk to Candace Owens. Oh, yeah? Shut the f*** up. This is what we do. We talk to people. We hear the truth.
That's a regular thing for us. The reason why I'm getting upset at Adam is I'm asking specifically, stop dropping F-bombs.
Yeah, he pissed
I've
his
asked him
boss
so
off.
many times. I don't like it.
My bad, sir.
Because when I do other
He's all glassy-eyed. he's shithouse on tequila. He's going to say fuck. And Patrick Bet-David is pissed because I guess the F-bombs, they do fuck with your monetization. I know that. But also, PBD has this idea that children, like parents, turn on the PBD podcast for their kids. That's how you make serial killers, dude. Children should not be watching your show. The subject matter alone, like they talk about the news and politics. Israel-Palestine is a genocide, and that's like one of the most talked about things out there. Children shouldn't be watching that. You protect your kids from that shit, and don't let them read about it or learn about it. It's just they're too young. Don't put that into their brains. But PBD thinks that kids are listening to his show, so this Adam should watch his tequila swilling mouth.
things, guest says it. Kids are watching us. People want to put their kids in front of this.
Do they? I want to paraphrase Jerry Seinfeld, who are these people? I want to meet someone in real life. I want to go out, like this weekend, I want to go to I think I'm going to be in a cornhole tournament this weekend. I'm going to ask everybody there, you watch the PBD podcast? And they'll go, who? And I'll be, hey, it's a conservative talk show, whatever. And I'll say, well, do you let your kids watch it? I'm going to be hard-pressed to find one person who lets their kids watch Patrick Bet-David. That's a form of child abuse in some countries.
Not a fan of that. I've told you this hundreds of times privately. Now you're forcing me to say it to you publicly.
That's fair.
All right, so the PBD podcast drama continues. This time we have Adam having a complete meltdown after spending all night partying in Vegas. The whole crew seemed fed up with him during this episode because apparently he showed up still drunk from the night before and he smelled like shit. And then he started bossing all the employees around at the podcast studio they're using.
I gotta be honest, that's kind of funny. Look, don't get me wrong. I understand if you're Patrick Bet-David, you're fucking pissed at this guy. But just as an observer, the fact that you brought all your boys out to Las Vegas and you thought they were going to be professional and do a podcast, and that this fucking toolbox, the first thing he brings up is, I want to be able to talk to Andrew Tate. You don't think that guy's going to go get shithouse? Come on, Pat.
He had them running around, getting him all kinds of stuff, which PBD seemed pretty annoyed about. Like, he mentioned it right when the podcast started, and then halfway through, he's talking about how nice and respectful the staff is, and he says Adam put them to work. And then you get to hear Vinny say, yep, like he also thinks Adam's being a diva. And
okay, well, all right. This is where the internet is not the real world. Guys, that's the way a workplace goes. When you're mildly annoyed with someone you work with, you take little passive-aggressive pot shots throughout the day because you can't get in fights with them. You can't yell and scream at them anymore. There's HR and all that shit. So you take little jabs, especially if you're on the air. You take little jabs at them. You take little shots at them. And that's kind of their penance. You know, he's going, oh, the PBD meltdown continues. It's not a meltdown. It's a workplace. And this guy had a workplace incident where he came to work all fucked up and his boss was pissed at him and he took a few cunty shots.
Right after that, I think PBD quickly says, I'm so upset at Adam. I mean, it seemed like he was trying his best to hold back from lecturing Adam or saying something bad about him on the air, but he accidentally let it slip. And then eventually he does go off on him for swearing.
A lot is going on. You need to know, Vinny just got here. We're in Vegas. He went to, was it Dre's? Where were you? Were you at Dre's?
Yes.
Dragging Adam out of the club. Adam still hasn't slept. He's hammered. He smells like tequila.
Disgusting.
And vodka and a few other smells. We don't want to get into it.
But I got coffee. I'm okay.
But he got his coffee. He got everybody here working for him, getting him coffee, tea, napkins, back rub.
Total diva.
The
needs
biggest
coffee.
diva that you got. Go to the back.
See, that's not a meltdown. That's not like they're angry at each other. That's what your boss does when you come to work all fucked up. He shits on you. He calls you out publicly. That's like, there's something about internet people that bothers me, and that's, they just can't, I don't know if they didn't have dads or their dad wasn't in the picture. That's like normal male interaction. The people who are terminally online seem to have a real problem, a real difficulty with normal male interaction. You know, like even mild aggressiveness or bluntness. They're like, oh my God, that's a drama. That's a conflict. It's like, no, that's dudes. You're annoyed. You're pissed off at your guy. So you give him a little shit up front so you can work it off.
All the people have been so nice to us. Okay. Adam's put the entire crew to work. I'm so upset at Adam. They're so respectful to us. They're so nice to us. There's about 11 employees I met.
And of course, Adam's a total.
I don't get this. He's got 11 employees for a show. Like, you're doing a show. Like, you got four guys there. 3 producers, 7 max, 11 people behind the scenes. That's got to be a lot of thumbs and a lot of asses.
Diva. I mean, this guy is just the worst. So also
He is a douche.
They spend a lot of time talking about negative comments and handling criticism because they've been getting a lot of it recently because of their coverage of the Epstein files and the conflict in the Middle East.
Can't believe it. These people are fucking massive. They have huge shows. The shows are self-sustaining. They make plenty of money, and they're going to bitch about negative comments. You know what you do with negative comments? You do what we do. You make them part of the show. You laugh at them. You make them the butt of the joke. They're not going to know the difference. They're all fucking stupid. You're not dealing with, as Donald Trump said about Mexico, the internet, they're not sending their best. They're woodwork wackos, essentially. Goof on them.
They're talking about the backlash that Nelk got from their Netanyahu podcast. So PBD tries to give them some advice on how to handle criticism, but I think he has like a stroke or something while he's talking about it.
You interviewed a war criminal. Move on to the next episode. How do the Nelk boys deal with the criticism they got from their Netanyahu episode? You don't. You just don't deal with the criticism. You do the next show. It's the Nelk boys. They interviewed an Israeli war criminal. Next, they'll probably interview an OnlyFans chick. It'll be fine. It'll all come out in the wash.
If you all of a sudden get arrested by the comment section, welcome to miserable life. Because the mob then realizes, ooh, we got a hold of them. We scared them. We control you. Nope, you can't do that. We're going to
stop thinking about it that, like, these people are such narcissists. They're like, I can't let the comment section know that blah, blah, blah. None of these people are real. They're all just longing for a daddy. They're longing and yearning for something they don't have. And they're trying to play a character they wish they could be in real life, but they can't. These are scared little boys just looking for an outlet. You don't need to overthink it this much. Understand what they are and treat them as such. They're little boys searching for an outlet. You don't need to give this so much of your day.
Send our audience and go in the comment section to bash PBD Podcast and comments, because what Pat said about Muslims and also go in the comment section. You won't move us.
Okay.
Go Nelk boys and
what the? Hold on. Time the fuck out. What was that? Can we get our audience has been good at this over the years. Can you translate what the fuck he just said?
You won't move us. Go Nelk boys and scare the crap out of them.
Gabba gabba goo gob gob. Go to Nelk boys and scare the hell out. What?
Comment section. You won't move us. Go Nelk boys and scare the crap out of them.
I don't know what the fuck he just said. I know that he spent a valuable portion of his show whining about the Nelk boys and criticism, and I don't know if he was trying to summon a genie. That might have been what he was trying to do. He might have been trying to open the Cave of Wonders. Whatever it was Arabic.
Go Nelk boys and scare the crap out of them. Don't let them move you. Your voice is important.
It's not. Your voice isn't important. It means nothing. You and I bitch about shit for 7 hours a day, 3 days a week. Nobody fucking cares. All these people, Tucker and Sam Hyde and Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes and PBD and all these bitching and whining and moaning about the same thing. They're going to do whatever they want, and if it all goes too far on our end, they'll just have us killed. Our voice doesn't matter. What we're doing is we're venting to make ourselves feel better, hoping that we can entertain a few thousand people in the process. Fingers crossed.
You've done good work. And
Thank
you're going to get better.
Thanks.
It's just going to get better.
So then when Adam gives his thoughts on negative comments and
this is going to be great. So a falling down drunk asshole who's a dickhead normally, now reeking of tequila, is going to tell you what he thinks of the haters. This should be great.
controversy, he begins by saying he doesn't really care about what other people think or have to say about him.
Absolutely.
But then he just starts having a meltdown over what other people are saying about him. It's hilarious.
Easy on the fucking meltdown shit, you little girls. He's having a meltdown. Sometimes it's a dude just yelling because he's frustrated or upset about something. Meltdown is a word that internet people use to make themselves feel better. And I'm sorry to give away the game. I'm sorry to give away your secrets, but you're not that clandestine. Meltdown is a word people use as like a shield and sword at the same time, because if you're giving them dude energy and they can say, oh, it's a meltdown, then they don't, because they don't know what to do with that energy. They can classify it as that and write it off. Sometimes it's just a dude ranting. You know, when you do a talk show, rants are good. Rants are fun. Sometimes, you start yelling and screaming and losing control. You know, some people like that.
Hilarious. I mean, Vinny probably loves it. You know, finally Adam's the one flipping out and Vinny can laugh at him. So
I don't
when
know,
Adam's having
by
this
the way, who
meltdown,
these guys
he says
are.
the F word a couple times. And apparently PBD has already privately told him multiple times he needs to stop saying that because kids watch the show. I don't know what kid is watching PBD.
Exactly, I agree.
guess
what
Patrick
kids are watching
seriously
this
thinks
fucking
parents
show?
are having their kids watch his show. You know, I guess PBD is the new PBS. Like at one point, Patrick is talking about how coding is the new career path.
Today, kids, the letter of the day is I for Israel. Oh, fun. Here's a rabbi to tell us why Arabs are inferior. This is good. Have your kids parked in front of the...
18 years old, even 8 to 17 years old, pay attention to the story.
Don't.
Go, Nelk boys.
And I think Patrick
It's funny. He keeps playing that clip over and over, too.
got the idea that he could get a younger audience because he said they're out to eat the night before.
Let's skip.
Next to us, what did you see, Vinny? 3, 4 iPads, kids sitting there.
One kid had a freaking, he had an antenna, headphones. Everybody's on, and the
Bro,
parents-
they're playing Roblox and they're watching kitty videos. They're not watching the PBD podcast. Do you know what a fucking sociopath you would think a kid was if like an 8-year-old came up and said, I think that we should replace the income tax with a fair use sales tax of 9.7% across the board. An excise tax could replace that income and stimulate economic growth. We'd have to burn that kid as a witch. We can't allow the 8-year-olds to talk that way. It's like a little Chucky doll.
They're just getting drunk.
Completely
I
checked out.
respect
The
that.
kid
Completely
might as well have been on Mars.
And this is the one story that Adam really wanted to talk about. Don't know why. Sex toy infiltrates second WNBA game.
Nice.
Fevers.
Adam wants to talk about the dildo. He's pissed at Adam for being shit-faced. He is. It does upset him. I get it. But you don't want to talk, like PBD doesn't want to talk about the dildos being thrown on the basketball court. That's a fun little, you know what we call that? That's a little ball you can kick around on the show. You know, it doesn't mean anything. You know, it's like a basketball, football, baseball game. It's a little distraction. It's a little something to kick around. What are you trying to say? PBD isn't the best comedic ad-libber? The fuck?
Yeah, so this show is just the best. Like, you'd think this is a parody. You know, PBD's all worried about swearing on his show because kids are watching.
Right.
But also he starts talking about sex toys. And I think also
That's true. He's like, all right, we can't say the F word because kids might be watching us. Now, in other words, green dildos are being thrown at lesbians playing basketball. Would you like to talk about this for the children listening? I want to explain what a dildo is. All of your 9-year-olds watching are going to be completely lost. By the way, isn't it funny that these conservative grifter guys like this PBD, isn't it funny that they'll go, hey, watch your mouth, we've got children watching. And then but they'll also say shit like, you know, oh, they shouldn't have drag time story hour. It's terrible, which I agree. But then he'll also say, we have children that watch this show. Anyway, green dildos being thrown at basketball players. It's like, it's all a show. It's all just performative. But I thought it was funny that the PBD guy has one of his he goes out and does shows in Las Vegas, and then his boy gets fucked up and he acts surprised. He's like, I can't believe you went to Drea's nightclub and you got hammered. It's like, he's in Las Vegas. What did you want him to do? You want him to go to the mob museum until the show was on? There's nothing to do in Las Vegas but drink. Everything you do in Las Vegas includes drinking. If he didn't come in to your show smelling like booze, I wouldn't know what this whole getaway was for. Again, take your boys to Las Vegas because you want to reward your employees with a trip, or bring them there for a work event. But you can't make it. You can't make it both, dude. You can't. I'm sorry. Hobo. Oh, I'm sorry. God, I lost my fucking chat. Riding Dirty Llama says, does the PBD show stand for peanut butter dick? Yes, it does stand for peanut butter. No, Patrick Bet David. Patrick Bet David podcast. No, it is very odd. Hobo says, where did he get that crushed velour suit? Look, look, those guys, they think they're hot shit, all right? They think they're hot shit. They're fucking killing it. Let him have his crushed velour suit. I'm sure it'll be fine. Ryan the Garbage Man says puppy and kitty videos are fun. Everybody should watch them. I think so too. I think we'd be in a much better place if people watch puppy and kitty videos over a Patrick Bet David clip. That's what I think. Oh God, I always live for one of these. Thad, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Every time I make fun of internet people, there's always one guy who comes in and you can tell he thinks you were talking about him, and he airs his triggeredness at me. Why does this guy have so much confidence? Why don't you have more? Sorry, Thad. I didn't mean to single you out, but you really did do exactly the thing I hope happens when I do those rants. You danced right to the tune. I apologize. 1:30 away from today's goal. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hobo Chili Recipe says, Aaron, don't lie. You would love a crushed velour suit. You fancy as fuck, N-word. You're saying that I'm just jealous. I mean, agree to disagree. I don't want Patrick Bet David's suit. That's all. 1:30 away from tonight's goal and 21 gifted memberships away from 300. If we hit that 21 number, it means we're going until 9 o'clock tonight. So that's completely up to you. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. Go ahead and hit like. That's a big one. Like, thumbs up, share. Be proud of the show. Let other people know it's out there. And we'll keep making fun of everybody. Well, here it is. They're going to take this Donald Trump Supreme Court for a spin, and they're going to try and overturn gay marriage. I have to be honest. This is one of those things where Democrats said if they elect this guy, they're going to try and overturn gay marriage. They're going to take away gay rights. And I will admit, I was one of the people going, that's bullshit. Stop it. You're just trying to scare people for no reason. Gay marriage is settled. It's done. It's finished. We don't need to worry about gay marriage anymore. Well, apparently the Supreme Court has now formally been asked to overturn their Obergefell ruling on gay marriage. And I've said this before, I've listened to people much smarter than me on these legal items about the gay marriage decision, the Obergefell decision. And it is kind of bullshit. It's kind of, people said this about Roe v. Wade too. It's like the decision itself it's shaky. The Obergefell ruling saw, with not letting gay people get married as a violation of the Equal Rights Clause. It's not. Men and women both had the same rights when it came to marriage. Any woman could marry any man, and any man could marry any woman. No man could marry a man. So it's not like straight people were allowed to marry a gender that gay people weren't. Any gay man could have married any gay woman. Marriage was defined as a thing between a man and a woman, and we allowed that to happen. Now, if straight people, if you said, oh, I'm a heterosexual, I want to marry a dude for the insurance benefits, and then gay people didn't get to, now we have an equal protection argument. Again, these are the arguments I've heard, and they do make sense. So could this happen? Short answer, no. The Supreme Court probably won't hear it, but if they do, if the Supreme Court decides to hear gay marriage, and it's a long shot that they would, because I think they would all say that this is settled, they might overturn it. It's possible. In a petition for writ of Latin shit filed last month, this attorney, Kim Davis, who refused to do a same-sex wedding in a Kentucky courthouse right after Obergefell, Davis argues First Amendment protection for free exercise of religion immunizes her from personal liability for the denial of marriage licenses. More fundamentally, she claims the High Court's decision in Obergefell versus Hodges extending marriage rights for same-sex couples under the 14th Amendment's due process protections was egregiously wrong. The mistake must be corrected, wrote Davis's attorney Matthew Staver in the petition. He calls Justice Kennedy's majority opinion in Obergefell legal fiction. Look out. I mean, if they decide to hear this, and I don't think they will, it would be the first challenge that they would have ever heard on gay marriage in the 10 years that, by the way, gay marriage has been legal for 10 years. Feels like longer. If there was ever a case of exceptional importance, the first individual in the Republic's history who was jailed for following her religious convictions regarding the historic definition of marriage, this should be it. This to me is kind of like this reminds me a lot of the Epstein stuff and my take on the Epstein stuff, where I told you guys, don't get your hopes up. I don't think this is going to be a thing. I'll look, I'm going to say the Supreme Court is not going to hear this case, but if they do, I'll be the first one to say I was wrong. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think they'll consider it settled and they won't want to fuck with this. If they do take it up, holy shit, that could be interesting. Gray Duckling with $5 says, what about Epstein, God damn it? A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feeling that really, and we have an update on the Epstein thing tonight. We'll get to it in a little bit, but it's, it is one of those things where every time something else happens, people are going to go, fuck you, Epstein. Hey, we got, like today, Trump postponed the Chinese tariffs by 30 days. And in the comment section, you see people going, fuck you, Epstein. I don't give a shit about the Chinese tariffs. What's going on with the Jeffrey Epstein stuff? Also, a federal judge today ruled that the grand jury transcripts cannot be released. So we're not going to get the grand jury transcripts, which are sealed right now in the Ghislaine Maxwell thing. Sorry, federal judge said no can do. Rabbi Smoothie with $2 says, I know gay couples that want it overturned at the federal level because then they can both collect Social Security. Be careful what you wish for, I suppose. 125 away from today's goal. Thank you guys very much for that. Keep it coming. Keep it going. How about $100 by 7 o'clock? How about in the next 14 minutes we get that down under $100, and then we have an easy rest of the show. Thank you guys for your support, and keep it coming. Tolkien Studies says, I doubt it will be overturned, but we'll see. Rabbi Smoothie with a great point. He says, how long did Roe v. Wade stand before it was overturned? 40, wasn't it like 46 years? How long, when was Roe v. Wade? Not over, I don't give a shit when it was overturned. That was 2022. We know that one. 1973, so damn near 50 years. Oh, that's got to hurt. Roe v. Wade lasted they didn't even get their 50th year. They were a few months short of their 50th year. God damn, man. That's rough. That's rough. Speaking of rough, Thad, you're having a rough night, buddy, but I love when you come in here and cope with us. Ablo Pacheco says, woman files a petition for SCOTUS to hear the gay marriage case. Political pundits most affected. Oh, they're going to get, dude, they're going to get to kick this ball around forever. You're going to get to debate this. MSNBC probably loves this because they can have so many Morning Joe segments about this where 5 people can talk about fucking the Supreme Court and whether or not they're homophobic and how this means that gay people are not only under attack, but it also means they're going to be killed. I mean, they'll go full on psychotic over this one. Let's do the Tim Dillon, Barry Weiss thing. You know, people were asking me about this on Thursday or Friday's show, and I had no idea what the fuck it was. And apparently, and this, like, if you're not a conspiracy theorist, if you don't think a certain thing about the media and the whole, I'm not going to get too deep into it because I know there's some people who are going to roll their eyes and go, whatever. But Sam Show knows, others know. This Barry Weiss thing is fucking weird. If you don't know who she is, she's an independent journalist who Joe Rogan kind of made her a big thing. She was part of that intellectual dark web, which is one of the douchiest things. I think Rogan even thought it was a douchey thing to call it. It was a bunch of these gay Rogan orbiters who wanted to make themselves more of a thing than they were. Of course, Dave Rubin was a part of it. And those weird-ass, was it Weinstein? Eric and the mathematician guy is a fucking lunatic. But there were, I think it was Eric Weinstein or whatever. They were part of it, and their brains broke. Like, again, it was another case of guys who just interneted too hard. Well, Barry Weiss kind of got elevated by these people, but she kind of fell out of favor because she's Jewish. She loves Israel. She fucking sucks Israel's cock, makes all kinds of excuses for him, runs protection. A real Tokyo, we could call her Tel Aviv Rose, this Barry Weiss. So she has a Substack, which a lot of journalists do. And she writes articles and she has her investigations and all this. And I mean, a few people are on it. She does okay. She's not the biggest name out there, as evidence that a lot of you have probably never heard of her. And she has a YouTube channel that barely does any traffic. CBS is paying her $250 million for her news organization. I said that right. It's called like free media, free speech media or whatever, which is laughable. CBS is giving her $250 million to acquire her company, and it's all very, very suspect. Let's go ahead and check this out. This is Tim Dillon on his show talking about Barry Weiss.
Hello, Miriam. Where's my f***ing money? You know, Barry Weiss, whose company is, sold now, is going to sell to CBS for $3 trillion or something. Larry Ellison's son's buying the Free Press. You know, the very important Free Press blog. You know, the one.
Eric, thank you, Ryan, the garbage man. Eric and Brett Weinstein. Yeah. I think Brett was the halfway normal one. He was like a professor. But Eric's brain got broken by the internet because he dove in and lived it. And he would get upset every time someone in the comment section would go, I don't think this guy's as brilliant as he thinks he is. Which is like one of the most innocuous things you can say about a guy, but it bothered him. And like he thought Tim Dillon didn't respect him or whatever. And Tim Dillon's like, I'm a fucking comedian. I'm giving you shit. Well, Barry Weiss, I love that. Free media? It's ironic. Just sell out to CBS.
That gets like 7,500 views on YouTube. That powerhouse conglomerate media company is worth $250 million. They don't like me anymore, which is fine because, again, you're on the team or you're not on the team. You criticize one thing, I mean, you're off the team.
All right, that's true.
Comedian Tim Dillon went scorched earth on Barry Weiss and the possibility that CBS might buy her glorified blog, as he puts it, for $250 million.
I'm sorry. Okay. If she was Muslim, if she was Christian, my antenna wouldn't be up. I will admit that. I will be 100% open. Barry Weiss, a blog. Again, when they say glorified blog, it's barely glorified. It is basically a blog. And CBS is offering her $250 million for it. She has the right opinion on Israel for them. I mean, she has the opinion they like on Israel. So I just don't understand where the valuation of $250 million comes from.
Story that we covered on this show last week on Wednesday. Now here's more of what Dillon has to
It's
say.
strange
That was the time that the free press was a revolutionary concept. When, like, there'd be a burrito truck in Portland where some white bitch was making a taco, and there was an article about how it was cultural appropriation, or, you know, how it was like, you know, a mansplaining to tell a woman or whatever. That was when the free press got big. It was when it was just like this era in our country where we were the most ridiculous, you know, like what a pumpkin say about the history of slavery. Like all of those ridiculous art. The free press came in to counter that narrative. And again,
how ironic that the free press sold out to Paramount, right? CBS is Paramount Global. Yeah, the free press. We're going to fight for your voice. We're going to give you independent news. Just kidding. We got $250 million. Now, don't get me wrong. I'd take $250 million. I'd take $250 million and sell my shitty show to somebody if they were offering me the money. But I don't call myself the free press. I don't call myself a voice in the darkness. I don't call myself, you know, the, oh, man, you got to come here for the straight dish because we're not controlled by anybody. Do you want to be controlled by somebody? How about $250 million? Again, I'm not faulting her for it. As the kids say, get that bag. But it just seems a little... not only hypocritical, but it seems crooked. What's the fucking catch here? She's not worth $2.5 million, her little blog. Why $250 million? Are they taking care of her because of her thoughts on Israel? Does that have something? It doesn't make any sense. Even if that was the case, these companies don't like doing charity work. You know, they'll pay $1 billion for South Park because it's fucking South Park. But Barry Weiss?
It's no shade to Barry, $250 million. Is it worth that? I mean, it's a blog. I mean, if she,
let me put it this way. If she's worth $250 million, Tim Dillon's show is worth $1 billion, which I don't think Tim Dillon, no disrespect to Tim Dillon, he's great at what he does, but he's not worth $1 billion. But he is if Barry Weiss is at 250. And you would think Tim Dillon they might want to pay more than Barry Weiss because they want to shut him up. They want to get him off the air. He's got the wrong opinions on shit.
Full blog. It's a blog. I mean, and it's a small YouTube channel. Whatever. I mean, God bless. But apparently the brand equity, and by brand equity means I'm willing to argue for shooting Palestinian toddlers in the face.
Right. That's what she does.
That's the brand equity of 250 sticks.
Again, I wonder if that's not why she's getting the money, because she has the right opinion, according to CBS and Paramount, on the issues of the day. That kind of seems to be where this thing is leading. You know? T. Duden says, was Brett Weinstein the ugly Hollywood rapist or the fake scientist grifter rapist? Whoa. Were there accusations about Brett Weinstein? All I remember about Brett Weinstein was he was the guy who, like, they wanted to have a day without whites on his college campus that he was teaching at, and he refused to go away, and they, like, protested outside his office. That's all I know about that Weinstein guy. Red Fox Mad, becoming a member for 39 months, says, what's up, my man? Play the Real American Hulk Hogan theme song. Everyone hit subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. I like that. Listen to that guy. Red Fox Mad knows what he's talking about. Hit it. Red Fox Mad also gifting a membership. Thank you. Yes, become a member on YouTube and gift a membership. Members only show coming Wednesday and Thursday this week. We're going to do 2 members only shows for you. So become a member. Gray Duck, excuse me, I have the hiccups. Gray Duckling becoming a member, or gifting a membership. Excuse me, I appreciate that. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says, everyone send the toe money. If you don't, you are gay. How's Mr. Cheese and Crunchy? I don't know. I have not heard. Have we heard signs of life from Crunchy in the last 2 weeks? I don't think we have. Cheese is omnipresent. Cheese is always around, but I don't know. MSO is usually, he keeps good track of Crunchy. I don't know what's going on there. Fuck you, dude, with $1 says, what's going on with your hair, Big Shoots? You look like Eddie Munster, but as an insurance adjuster and depressed. It's my hair's long, all right? My hair's long, and I'm trying to work on it. Vadam with $5 says, Vidam with $5 says, Aaron, they are Jews. Jews steal all of our money and talk down to all of us. Guys, what did you do to Vidam? Honestly, you won't tell me, but you did something to this man. 115 away from tonight's goal. Thank you. Hey, guys, somebody drop in a 20 right about now because we are 3 minutes away from 7 o'clock, and I think it would be crazy if we got to 100 in the first hour. Well, there's Vidam gifting a membership over on Rumble. That means we're 20 away from going until 9 o'clock. And now we're 110 away from tonight's goal. So check me if I'm wrong, Sandy, but $10 in the next 2 minutes. And we got this thing banged out. Sam Show says, check all the dumpsters. You'll find Crunchy. Hobo says, I hope Crunchy is being buried alive like Beatrice in Kill Bill. Nice. You know what? Nice poll. Nice poll. MSO says, members only shows Wednesday and Thursday. I guess we just guessed the time. 10:30. I'm going to do it right after the morning show's done. I'm going to do those. My Lost Interest gifting a membership to JL Not Here. Oh, My Lost Interest got one from Vidam. So he passed it along. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. JL Not Here, you go ahead and pass yours along, and then we're down to 100 by the top of the hour. Thank you very much, you guys. You guys are a fucking evening show, man. These guys are where the party's at. Rabbi Smoothie with $2 says, that was my gifted membership, and it went to your buddy Thad. 58, sir. Oh, shit. Okay, sorry. You're right. I'm not keeping up here. Rabbi Smoothie is now at $58, and he's in second place. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Tolkien Studies says, I can't believe Aaron hasn't seen Ken Burns' Jack Johnson documentary. Isn't it Unforgivable Blackness? I feel like I have seen that. I feel like I have watched that. Nader P says, if you count my resub, then you're at 100. I can only go with what's listed. Oh, there it is, Nader P. There it is. There's your membership. And Rabbi Smoothie gifting a membership. So I missed 2 of them during that story. Thank you guys very much. 95 away from today. Well, guys, you got under 100 by 7 o'clock. Don't stop there. Keep going. Keep the party going. Thank you so much. Vidam with $5 says, I hope MS Crunchy is doing good. Oh, Miss Crunchy. I work with Johnny a lot. Crunchy, call me. Let's hook up again. You're awesome in bed. Wink, wink. Oh, my goodness. This is getting tawdry. This is getting tawdry. Sam Show says, bed. That's way too classy for Crunchy. Have you tried a landfill? It's fucking mean, dude. Eric Cartman says, Vidam has a truck that says Pussy Wagon on the tail. Allegedly. Hobo Chili Recipe says, Hobo Chili donated $100,000. Go play in traffic. No, I could get hit by a car. I'm not going to do that. Why would you suggest something that would be so outwardly dangerous to my person? By the way, if anyone donated $1,000, I think I have to sell my soul to them. I think that's the deal. I think they own my soul. Taste Fairy Ielto says, no, you gave me shit for asking if you watched the Ken Burns documentary. Oh, yeah, I was in a mood that day when it came to Ken Burns. I just fucking hated him for some reason. And I still hate him because his documentaries are fucking, I mean, we might as well watch him jack off to his own voice instead of watch a documentary. I mean, that's all a Ken Burns documentary is, 14 hours of how fucking smart Ken Burns is. Pants Maestro says, really? 1,000? Oh, did I say one? Oh, shit, I'm sorry. 100,000 is what Hobo said. I'm sorry. If I said 1,000, I misspoke. My bad. No Pen 15 Fathead with $2 says, be nice to my angel Crunchy. See, everybody's got their diagnosis of Crunchy now. Hulkamasha Baby says, Crunchy seems like more of a behind the bar over the used kegs gal. Why does Crunchy have to take so much abuse from you fucking demons? Pants Maestro says, oh, I thought that'd be a cool memento. Nah, Pants Maestro, $250 is VIP, though. That would mean I owe you a shirt, a hoodie, a mug, 2 free tickets to every live event we do, and 1 free item of merch every year, which I did. I think I'm caught up on those. The VIPs have been claiming their free items. We've been sending them out. Hopefully you got yours. Hobo says, so Kent Burns is basically steel toe. I did open myself up for that one. And I did with that comment, too. Cocktiff says, do the EBT story, dummy. Best news in a long time. There's an EBT story? What's the EBT story? Press release, Dan Goldman advocates for real-time SNAP EBT fraud protection in FY26 appropriations bill. 2 weeks after cyber attack, Georgia SNAP call center still down. Some families struggle to access benefits. Aw, damn. Yeah, apparently in Georgia there's an outage for EBT. You guys will figure it out. It'll make you tougher, you know? Vadam with $5 says, Crunchy, do you want to meet up at Stoney's and fuck behind the bar and the restroom? It will be like our first time. Wink, wink. This is now becoming de facto harassment, I think. I'm uncomfortable passing these messages along from Vadam. $90 away from today's goal. Thank you very much. Oh, man. Bocephus, I'm going to check my email, but I feel like I sent yours out last week. Keep an eye on it for me, but if it's not there this week, you got to send me a thing. Bottle Tip says, Steel Toe, did you attend church today? Your hair is parted like your knees are sore. That's a good line. Cocktiff, do me a favor. Put a link in the chat to the story you're referring to, and maybe we'll get to it tonight. I do know we're only 90 away, and that makes me very excited. Just keep chipping away a couple, like honestly, $2 at a time will do it at this point. Thank you guys for getting off to such a great fucking start this week. You guys really are. I don't mean to over compliment you because it's going to make us all feel uncomfortable, but you're studs. You really are. You're all a bunch of fucking studs. No Pen 15 with $2 says, Vadam, you are dead. All right, that's a threat. I don't condone that. Can we stop threatening to kill each other? We're having a nice show. We talked about a couple of different things tonight. We've been having fun. We're making fun of my dreams, all of that, the Tim Dillon thing, the PBD thing. Can we relax a little? Vadam, stop talking about fucking Crunchy on a pile of kegs. And no Pen 15 fathead, no fighting over girls. All right? Everybody just take it easy. MSO says, I heard Johnny nailed Crunchy at the 19th hole. This isn't. How is that? MSO, do me a favor in the chat right now. You tell me how that's helping. You tell me how that's helping. Peen Wienerstein says, dude, I don't love or hate you. Probably means he hates me. But the cuck chair thing is driving me nuts. Did I spell it wrong? Motherfucker. Yep, you're right. It's the cuck cherry, which is kind of fun. There you go. Thank you, Peen Wienerstein. It's a good name. I hope he's not a psychotic retard because I'd like him to be a good fan of the show rather than a lunatic because it would be a waste of a great, great screen name. Understated, too. All right. Nobody's threatening death on anybody. Nobody's threatening all kinds of sexual acts behind one of our sponsors' bars. I think we can move on. As far as the National Guard being activated today to protect D.C. from street criminals, you know, people are more divided on this than I thought they would be. You've got a lot of like libertarian types who are saying like, I don't like the military being on the street. You got a lot of conservatives who are saying, no, this is great. We got to clean up that fucking cesspool. Every city with a crime problem should be doing this. Fuck these people. I'm interested on your guys' opinion because Trump is doing this reportedly to clean up crime and homelessness in Washington, D.C. Now, as far as activating the Guard goes, there's a little bit of wiggle room here because D.C. isn't a state. It's not a city. So there's a little bit of philosophical wiggle room on this. My general rule is it's never a good look when we have troops on our streets. That's something you see in a third world banana republic or a fascist dictatorship. I don't like the idea, but Jesus fucking Christ, can we do something about crime? I don't know if you saw the news story, but DC has been fabricating their crime numbers because they can't get violent crime down, so they just send bullshit numbers. It's like the Feeding Our Future scandal. here in Minnesota. Just make shit up if it doesn't look right or it doesn't look good to you. There was another state where they just fired a guy for cooking the numbers the same way. It's madness, and something does need to be done, but like, we've seen this get fixed before. Like, we've seen New York City go from Dinkins to Giuliani to Bloomberg. We've seen shitholes get cleaned up. It's possible. You can empower the police. You can let them do their job. You can let them arrest criminals. I personally like the broken window theory. I liked stop and frisk. I thought it was effective. Look, if stop and frisk didn't work, I wouldn't be for it. But it worked. As evidence, when they stopped doing stop and frisk under de Blasio, shit got worse. So I understand the want to protect people. I understand the want to get violent crime down, especially if you're a politician that, clean streets will help you come election time. But the National Guard? Anybody else feel like that's kind of a bridge too far? I honestly, I want to see what you guys have to say about it. I do. Brian says, when you import the third world, you become the third world. T. Duden says, every major city cooks the numbers. I think to an extent that's true. Tronanon says, long overdue. DC is a shithole. DC will look like Buckingham Palace soon. All right. I mean, if you can do it, here's what you can sell me on. If you can do it temporarily and it works and you get the shit back down to shoe level and then they ship out, okay, cool. I just don't want to see it be a regularity that the National Guard is patrolling our streets. Pants Maestro says, in Italy, military patrols, but we also have IRS agents that patrol, so maybe not the best example. Yeah, mamma mia, there we go again. I don't know if we need to copy that. Sam Show says, I like to think ahead when the opposing party does it. I wonder what their excuses would be to just march soldiers up to your base. That is a really fucking smart way to think about that. I don't say this very often, but guys, follow Sam Show's lead. Remember, and Democrats have learned this lesson the hard way with killing the filibuster. Remember when they killed the filibuster so Obama could get shit passed and haha, suck it, Republicans. Then the Republicans took over under Trump, and when they wanted to appoint their, Brett Kavanaugh and other people to the Supreme Court, the Republicans were like, this whole nuclear option on the filibuster sure is nice. Thanks, Democrats. We're going to take it for a spin. Anything you do, your opponents that you philosophically disagree with can do it too. So that's a good point that Sam Show raises. If Trump can be fed up with street crime, so he activates the Guard, what's to stop a Democrat from activating the Guard because they think that, well, these people are just carrying too many guns, or they got too many guns in their house, or they decide to make it a Second Amendment thing. It's possible. That's why I say you guys are going to have to sell me on this, federal troops on the streets thing. Because I don't like it instinctively. My Lost Interest says another bad look for Trump. He doesn't care, though, which is why most voted for him. Using military on U.S. citizens should be a hard no. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. And it is one of those things where I have my opinion. And the reason I asked you guys, what do you think about this, is because you wonder, because the Trump influence is so strong. Like, am I in the minority? Is my idea crazy? Because my idea is no military patrolling American streets. But so many MAGA people are like, yeah, fuck yeah, Trump's going to cure crime. And it's like, well, we have the cure to crime. It's the police. It's not like the police all of a sudden became retarded. Metaphorically, they had handcuffs placed on them after George Floyd. They weren't allowed to do their fucking job right. And crime went up. So if we restore faith back in the police department and we let them do their job and we stop putting them under this fucking microscope, we could probably get New York and DC and, not Chicago, not Baltimore, but a few different cities back under control. I think it's an overreaction. I don't think you need the National Guard. Although MSO writes, hopefully Neil Young gets another song out of it. Yeah, before he goes, he can. Tin soldiers and Trump is coming. Hobo Chili Recipe with a philosophical question says, why not just use white sauce phosphorus? I almost said, you know what? I almost gave Hobo a freebie there. I almost said, why not use white sauce, fatty? Why not just use white phosphorus? Who are we, the IDF? deaf to the IDF, deaf to the IDF. So weekend warriors will be arresting people on the street, says Taste Fairy. It's weird, right? It's weird. Although I like Brian's idea. He says, just bring in some rooftop Koreans. Could work. Rabbi Smoothie says, let's give the military a try. Apparently, local and county law enforcement officers aren't able to fix the problem. I don't think they're allowed to. You know? I don't think they're allowed to fix the problem. Again, I think since George Floyd, they've kind of been undercut quite a bit. Rabbi Smoothie says you got to make these people do their duties. That car can't go ignored that part can't be ignored and is the actual problem. Sam Show says, got to stop asking government to solve the problem. Keep it citizen, but we're retarded, so that ain't happening. That is kind of the crux of this whole thing, isn't it? You wish it could happen one way, but then you're like, oh shit, we can't. That's the saddest part to think about is you're like, well, a democracy and a republic takes an involved and engaged citizenry in order to stay alive. And you're like, oh shit, that's why our republic is dead. Because the people just, I mean, really, in many ways, a lot of them, not worth a shit. Rabbi Smoothie also says government can't legally get more power without an amendment. Keyword legally. When have they let that stop them before? I'm sure there won't be many violent protests in D.C. over this. I already saw them. Like, we went over one of them this morning. Maybe not violent, but they were already protesting pretty hard this morning. They were bringing back the old school. They were saying, hell no, we won't go. It was the black lady who was going, we ain't gonna go where the alligators live. That was her great line. She wasn't going to go where the alligators live. It was good though. I mean, she meant alligator Alcatraz. She was black. There's no way she would go to alligator Alcatraz, but yeah. You ever try to fact check them in the middle of a protest? Ain't happening. $90 away from tonight's goal. Thank you for your generosity. 19 gifted memberships away from 300. If we hit that number, we're going till 11 tonight. So thank you over there on Rumble. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. Guys, do me a big favor. Just take a second to hit thumbs up while you're gifting memberships and doing all of that shit. It helps the show out, and we do appreciate it. Those likes have gone up in the last week or so. I appreciate it. Usually I don't do this, but I got to check on a guy that I made. And it's a sad story because I think he got locked up in that fucking gay Dabbleverse shit and kind of fucked himself over. Remember I put that Karmic guy on the show because I'm like, this guy just rants and he's fucking crazy and it's just really funny. And then after he was on Steel Toe, everybody wanted him on their show. You know, I just thought, hey, this will be a good throwaway bit. You know, this will be kind of a fun, different look for the audience. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, oh my God, he was on Steel Toe. I got to have him. And then they always, of course, go overboard. So I let them have him because they're like, we have to make him about, it's got to be everything because they're devoid of content. Luckily, this show, we can do some shit. We can move on. Those shows, they're like, we're starved. We got nothing. We got to get something. Steel Toe made a guy. Let's bring him on. So this Karmic now, when I saw this clip today, I got to admit, I got sad because he's become a parody of the thing he already was, which was kind of a parody sort of a deal. Like now before he was this guy who just, fuck these people, fuck that guy, he was a guy talking shit and just telling people to go fuck himself. Now his whole thing is he gets on stream and people put him on tilt and he starts screaming at his own chat. Like that's what they've devolved this guy now to. But it's kind of his fault because when you play to that bottom feeding lowest level of the internet, I mean, these people are not intelligent. They're single digit IQ. A lot of them are inbred. A lot of them, their own families won't talk to them. When you play to that crowd, there's really only one place to go, right in the shitter. So Karmic's been investing in his setup, and apparently that means he put lights up and, Nobody told Karmic that when you're in a small room, one thing of photography lights with a filter over it will do. Like, that's all I have. I have just one big photography thing. It's got a filter over it, lights everything up real nice. Some would argue too many of my features are lit up. But Karmik decided to blast himself with apparently the shit they use to scan your luggage at the airport. And it's got him looking like Mason Verger in Hannibal. So now people are giving him shit, and he just lost it on them. Let's, again, this breaks my heart because when I discovered this guy and I brought him on the show and I made him a thing, he kind of let himself get used by, like, he could have elevated himself to somewhere else, but instead these bottom feeders got a hold of him, and now he's in that bottom feeder world, and he can't get himself out. And the only way to make yourself a thing in that bottom feeder world is you have to submit to them and be like a goofy cartoon character for them, which is fucking embarrassing. So here's Karmik with his light issue.
The monitor is particularly dim, right? I have two.
I noticed that you had no problem looking at my face, but you couldn't look me in the eye when I said the name of Jesus Christ.
White lights on me. And
Dr. Lecter said, would you like an anal popper? And I said, wow.
adjusting them, the monitor is dimmed, and the adjustment blew out washed me out completely.
Yes.
Then
so just turn off one of the lights. That's all you need to do. Happens to the best of us. Can wash you out. You put a filter over one of them. You turn the other one off. You give it to a friend. You'll be fine.
Leave Paul Schmeck. Then leave, you stupid cocksucker.
Like, this isn't necessary.
Leave.
See.
Telling me, I'm going to eat though. How about you eat shit and die?
See, this isn't fun. Like, you don't need to do this. But you need to do this for these people to like you. For these people to like you, you got to remember, these are the most insecure, psychotic, crazy, parasocial people in the world. They're not better than anyone in their life. They're isolated badly. So they need to feel above someone. That's why they're so crazy hating me, because I don't give them that. I always belittle them. But you, they try to get you to go nuts, and then you go nuts, and then they've got you. Now you're fucked.
YouTube terms of service. How about that, motherfucker? I really don't give a fuck about any cocksucker on the internet telling me shit.
I feel like you do. It doesn't really seem like you're approaching this with a sense of humor, but I can't tell because I can't see your facial expression.
So you can go fuck yourself.
I believe this.
Or do it in front of my fucking face.
You want him to fuck himself in front of your... Karmik just suggests that Paul Funkenstein jack off is getting freak off levels of weird.
So eat my dick with your stupid fucking horseshit, internet idiot retards. Fuck yourself. No city, no stories, no load.
By the way, the Dan Nice Podcast stupid guy, I know I'm going to regret saying this, but I like that guy. I know he's a weirdo, and I know he's got his own shit, but like, I posted something from my cousin's wedding on Instagram, and Dan from Nice Podcast Stupid had a very funny, and it wasn't like internet guy trying to be too inside thing. I posted a thing from a wedding, and he just wrote something. It was so simple and innocent and funny. It was like, oh, you going for a third time? And I'm like, no, it was my cousin. He liked it. It was like, oh, look at that. A guy who's like he tries to do trolly things on the internet, being a human being. So that impressed me. And I got to say to Dan, I know this will get back to Dan. The only reason it impressed me is because I had the bar for people like that set so low. Keep clearing that bar, buddy.
What you doing, bro? None of your business, man. We don't have anything to talk about, you and I. So go eat shit.
Why are we shouting at people who want to love you and want to watch your show, and they send you $2 and then you go, why don't you fucking eat shit? I don't need you. Thank him for the $2 at least. That would be nice. See, this makes me so heartbroken because when I found this guy, I was like, he's going to talk shit. He's just going to be some fucking dumb yokel guy who go, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And we got this guy and I think he's a piece of shit. Now he's just washed out on camera, like tweaking out at anyone who tells him that his lights aren't right.
Really have nothing to say to you, Dan.
But that's what he has to do because that's that fucking world of the internet. And that's the worst part is I try to warn these people and they're, it's like being everybody's dad and you have to let your kids figure it out for themselves because they'll go, "You fuck you, Dad. You're not cool. You don't know shit." And then a month later, I'm right, but they can't admit it, and you just have to sit there and go, "I don't mean to say I told us so, but I told us so."
You're a fucking Weasley cocksucker, and you're not my bro, so go fuck yourself.
He's not your bro. He's on the internet. You guys don't know each other. Leave him the fuck alone.
I hope you can deal with that. I hope that can sink in. I'm done with cocksuckers.
It's the weirdest way I've ever heard someone declare themselves a heterosexual in my life. I'm done with cocksuckers. That means that at one point you weren't? Never mind.
Forward. Okay? And I have nothing to owe to you motherfuckers moving forward.
I only know he has a face because he's blinking. That's the only way I know he has a face.
Not a goddamn thing. So eat dick. But yeah, everybody's going nuts about my skin color because apparently white skin is to be scared or afraid of.
Oh, no, I worship it. I love white skin. I think it's so beautiful, especially on Sydney Sweeney. On you, it's fucking terrifying. I do agree with that part. That is harsh.
Yeah, because you've been taught by a bunch of media pushers who push that agenda, and you stupid motherfuckers fell for it. So
do I sound this retarded when I talk about like the media and because if so, I apologize to everyone. I didn't. So wait a minute. Let me drill down on this because now Karmic's getting political. What I'm to understand is that because his face is washed out, and I'm sorry, Karmik, I have to side with your audience here. It's incredibly unnerving to look at because your audience doesn't like the fact that you're glowing like the surface of the sun. They're brainwashed by liberal Jew media to hate white skin. Or is it the fact that you look like Seamus?
Shit.
I'm expecting him to brogue kick that vampire behind him.
Eat fucking shit.
He's big on eating shit and eating dicks. Those are his two: eat shit, fuck you, and eat dicks. Those are his, and you're a cocksucker. Those are his, it's like a little Joey Diaz.
All your racist horse shit.
What?
If you want to make a count, do it to my face. And then we'll see. We'll see if those...
I would, but I can't see your face. It's washed out. If I could see your face, I'd scream it at you, but I can't. You're translucent.
Words line up with the way I fucking act.
We can't see your face because Hannibal Lecter made you cut it off with a piece of broken mirror.
Until then, act like a big boy in a chat room. Until then, I'll do whatever the fuck I please in front of a camera. If people don't like it, eat shit.
Eat shit and eat dicks. Eat shit and eat cocks.
Eat it. Suck it. Everybody's getting all upset over my white skin, so I should probably shut it down. Sorry to distract you with the lightness of my skin. So I know you guys are all trigger happy about that because you've been turned into lemmings your whole fucking life. But if you guys are going to be upset about that, we'll call it quits right now. So fuck everybody. Peace.
Oh, he left. Oh, he fucking left. That was it? He left the... Oh, Karmik, you should have stuck with me, buddy. You got involved in these toxic elements here, and it really fucked you over. Oh, buddy, you really should have stuck with the toe. The toe knew what he was talking about, my man. Fucking hell. $2 from Rabbi Smoothie. He says, Chad said he has a show in Minnesota in a week, I think. He's going to Stoney's. You should meet him there for a beer or two. I would get a beer with Chad. Why not? Why not? Yeah, I'd go. If Chad got in touch with me, I'd run out to Stoney's. That's not too far away. My Lost Interest says Karmic's face makes the glare on Aaron's sign look good. What? Oh, the glare. Oh, God damn it. That son of a bitch. McBuster says he did a Chad. All the super tippers are sensitive cry bullies. I mean, fucking, I've wrecked all of them. Jesus Christ. It ain't that hard. It ain't that hard. Thad says he has rage quit the past several streams, including tonight. Oh, no. Oh, if he would have stuck with me, he would have known how to deal with all of it. Thad, by the way, becoming a fan. I appreciate it. Brian says the reflection off his face is going to cause airplanes to crash. I mean, it is like, it's pretty much a terrorist attack. The very glow of his face. in one man's humble opinion and all that. Hobo figured something out. Hobo Chili Recipe says Karmik, so he's a bog-trotting, potato famine, IRA-supporting N-word. I mean, if that's the way you'd like to classify him. Rabbi Smoothie says Thad was involuntarily gifted a membership. Nope. Thad wanted it. Thad wanted that membership. He can't stand to watch Steel Toe with ads. He wants that membership. I saw him begging for it in the chat. He needed it badly. Oh, that was a good palate cleanser, like some bergamot tea. $90 away from today's goal. Thank you guys very much. Dive in. Gift. How many memberships until 19 gifted memberships, and we go until 9 o'clock tonight. Otherwise, throw in 5 or 10. Let's knock out that last 90 and make it a perfect Monday. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. You are the best. Let's seal it. Oh, guys. Oh, boy. You didn't hear. This happened between the morning show and the evening show. So we talked about those 2 male cheerleaders that the Vikings have. Apparently, word's gotten out to the season ticket holders, and they are bailing. The season ticket holders are demanding that the Minnesota Vikings drop their 2 male cheerleaders that they picked up this year. Otherwise, they are going to give up their season tickets. People are not fucking around on this. And I get it. Like, look, you go to a Vikings game, it's going to be a very masculine experience. You know, it's one of the few places that you can unabashedly be a dude. You can just you can watch football. And while you're watching football, during the breaks, here comes some girls, and they're going to be in sexy outfits, and they're going to dance for you. All right? It's kind of one of the easiest equations in all of sports. The only way you could fuck that up is if you go, I have an idea. Let's purposely antagonize our mostly male clientele. This is, to me, like getting 2 really, and by the way, they didn't get like 2 hulking big dudes who will throw the women up in the air. They got 2 complete fruit baskets to be male cheerleaders for the Vikings. I mean, this is up there with the Dillon Mulvaney Bud Light decision. Like, what part of you decided that this would be a good idea? Let's full screen this. This is the Minnesota Vikings introducing their new cheerleading squad for this year. And again, the Vikings have purportedly gotten hundreds of demands from season ticket holders to get rid of the 2 foppish men on their cheerleading squad, or they will be canceling their season tickets. Yeah. Girls, pretty girls. Oh, hi. Oh, jeez. Oh, for gay God. For the sake of homo God. She's pretty. Yeah. So you can see why maybe legacy season ticket holders in their 40s, 50s, 60s, etc. might not like this. And they might want to just say, you know what? No thanks. I'm good. Eric Cartman said, Aaron said, I'll buy them tickets. I mean, I don't want to make the commitment to season tickets. That's a lot of games to go to. No, thank you. Rabbi Smoothie says it's cheaper to gift memberships on YouTube, but cheaper on Rumble to send rants. The conundrum is real. Well, you guys go ahead and play around with that. Some of you send right now. Some of you send it on YouTube. Some of you send it on Rumble. Report back to me. You know who doesn't take a very big chunk? PayPal, Venmo, and Streamlabs. If you want to go that route, thank you so much. Hobo Chili says, Aaron, enjoy your losing record. I guarantee you the Buccaneers will go farther than the Vikings. I mean, you're going to win the NFC South, that's for sure. That receiver you drafted, he's looking like a steal. But, God, we're going to be good too. Who's going to go further, the Vikings or the Bucs? I'm going to say, my gut says the Bucs. God damn it. I really wanted to say the Vikings will go to the second round, but I don't. It all depends on McCarthy. I think the Bucs are going to wrap up in the second round this year. I do. I think you've got one of the best nose tackles in football. I love Vita Vea. I think he's great, but I'm rooting for Baker Mayfield, but I don't think you guys have, what the best teams in the NFC. I don't think you're getting to the NFC Championship game. Rabbi Smoothie says, does everyone forget those Bud Light bottles were made for a private party and were never meant to be seen publicly? Yeah, well, they got some chick in there in the marketing department, and they thought this would be cutting edge. Oh, Hobo says about the cheerleader, he's kind of hot. All right, I'm skipping that. Skipping it. MSO says that dude is definitely smuggling a green dildo. Yep, right to the Lynx game. Or he's just, he might just keep it in his ass during the entire game. He'll bring a green dildo to a Lynx game. He'll just keep sitting on it, wiggling back and forth. You know what? I really didn't need to act that out, did I? That didn't help. That helped nothing. Me acting out the wiggle. T. Duden just says, wow, that was way too gay. It's pretty gay. Hobo says, Aaron, why did they show the cheerleaders and the gay guy came out and you had your hands under the table? Oh, because I was jacking off. Tolkien studies with a great point. Maybe they should put that male cheerleader to work during the Lynx game. He'd probably go and scoop up all the green dildos on the court. You'd never see him. They probably wouldn't even hit the ground if that guy was there. Oh, my God, I better catch him in my asshole. I shouldn't have said that, though. I wasn't the one to say that. My Lost Interest says a better decision might have been to have less fabric used for the cheerleader outfits. Ugh. Sir Franklin says your Steelers are going to be good, too. You guys are going to be solid this season. Hobo Chili says Baker Mayfield is going to go fucking nuts this year. I have no reason to disagree with that. You got Bucky Irving, you got Evans, you kept Godwin, which was great. Your team is loaded, man. Eric Cartman says Aaron gets SP to dress up in Vikings football kit like Brenda does in Scary Movie. Oh, great. Great. I'm Sean Wayans now. Copper Camel Toe says, why does your voice put me to sleep? Because I'm soothing. And you're gay. That means you're gay. If I'm soothing you to sleep, you fucking poofter. All right, Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. You guys crushed it in the first hour. You got us to $90, but we have stayed stagnant for the last 35 minutes. Go ahead and put one more rally into it, and let's call this a perfect Monday for the toe. Again, we are 19 gifted memberships away from 300. If we hit that number, we are going until 9 tonight. So thank you very much. I told you we had Epstein updates today. We do, and it's from our fake Italian or real Italian faking a gay guy thing. Harry Enton from CNN. Remember we were talking about this last week? I was like, man, people have really hung on to this Epstein stuff a lot longer than I thought they would. And I meant that in a good way. Like, good. They're not letting go. It looks like this week they're starting to let go. It looks like maybe the Trump administration may have outlasted us on the Epstein story. Although this is CNN and a lot of you are going to want to take this with a grain of salt. I get it.
I would say that this is, from at least a political point of view, quickly turning into a dud of a story. What am I talking about here?
Which is wild.
Which is wild.
This has been for 3 weeks.
Exactly. Now. Take a look here. Google searches for Epstein down 89% versus just 3 weeks ago, falling through the floor. It is no.
Here's my issue with that. Here's what I'm going to say. Number one, a lot of Ghislaine Maxwell Google searching, I believe. I think that probably went up at least 89%, if not more, last week. Number two, I've got CNN reporting on statistics given to them by Google about an international pedo named Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know if I trust either of my sources, the sources giving the information and the source reporting the information. I don't know if I believe it. I think this is a little bit of wagging the dog. I think CNN and Google want this story to go away. They want people. And by the way, just because people aren't Googling Epstein anymore doesn't mean they don't care about it. I don't Google Epstein, but it still bothers me greatly. Like, this is another one of those living on the internet things where Don't get too narrow focused onto the internet that you start thinking you can diagnose what's in people's brains. You can't.
No longer the top term searched alongside Donald Trump's name. That's been trading off between Taros and Vladimir Putin, with obviously the meeting coming up later this week. But at this particular point, the American people's interest in this story, it's quickly becoming something of a nothing burger.
So
I think, again, I'm going to say I think CNN wants it to be a nothing burger. I think Google wants it to be a nothing burger. Also Jewish, by the way, burger. So I don't know how much of this is people really not caring, because when I talk to people in my life, when I talk to friends and family members, Epstein's still a hot topic.
out of sight, out of mind maybe is applying here a little bit, but has it impacted, have you seen numbers that have impacted Trump's popularity, favorability, anything?
No, not really. I mean, take a look here. Let's take a look at the overall numbers. Trump's approval rating in July of 2025, it was 45%. It's still well within that margin of error here at 44%. And you compare that to where he was in his first term at this point. He was at 37%. So he's 7 points higher, very much in a different political universe now, significantly higher in terms.
I mean, consider this. Ever since the Iraq War, it's really been almost impossible for a president to get over 50%. Like, the country's been so polarized. If you're at 50%, you're popular at that point. I mean, Obama really didn't get over 50%. Until he was inaugurated, he was way up there, but then that went down quick because the economy was in the shitter. And then at the end, when he was leaving, he got up over 50%. But other than that, he was never up over 50% his whole presidency. Joe Biden, same thing. Joe Biden was barely over 40 for the first part of his presidency. So if you're anywhere from 45 to 50, you're doing okay.
Of his overall approval rating than he was at this point in his first term. And more than that, among Republicans, his approval rating is near a record high, hovering right at about that 90% mark. So no, he hasn't lost any of that base. And when it comes to that center of the electorate, he's basically holding on there. And his overall approval rating, 44%.
So basically, it's how divided the country is. Like 90-some% of Democrats hate his guts, 90-some% of Republicans hate his or love him, and 50-50 on the independents. We are a nation just about as split down the middle as you can get, which I'm sure is not going to bode poorly for us in the future.
Is pretty gosh darn good for him, considering where he was at this point in term number one.
What do you think is behind it? Why there hasn't been more movement?
Yeah, why hasn't?
I think a lot of it's because people think of what their alternative was going to be, and they're like, well, I mean, I guess it could be worse. I mean, the Biden years are still fresh in our mind, and we all thought Kamala was stupid as all hell. So we're probably going, you hear that a lot from people. Like, even when I criticize Trump, they're like, oh, what, would you rather have Kamala in there? And I'm like, well, no, obviously. So it's a little tricky.
But hasn't there been more movement? I think this is pretty simple. Take a look here. Nation's top issue is the Epstein case. This is the number of respondents. This isn't the percentage of respondents. This is the number of respondents. In our last CNN poll, look at this. 0 respondents said that the Epstein case was the top issue. How about among independents? 0 independents said that. And among Republicans, and therefore overall, just a single one. So yes.
Yeah, but okay, wait, that's again kind of bullshit, because none of us had the Epstein thing as our top issue. The economy has always been our top issue, followed by that probably immigration, and then maybe Epstein. Epstein's really hot button. You know, a lot of people care about the Epstein thing because, you know, they don't like international child sex trafficking. Weird, right? So I think that it's an important issue to a lot of people, but just because it's not their top issue, I don't think that means that the Epstein case is going away. I think these guys want it to go away, so they're trying to report it into existence.
There used to be a lot of interest in this story, but the bottom line is that even amongst those who had high interest in this story, it wasn't something that they thought was all that important.
Right.
And as I said at the beginning, the interest in this story has fallen off the table.
Well, what it is that Trump voters just felt insulted and they felt lied to because all these guys in the Trump administration told them that they were going to get Epstein, that they were going to, well, not get Epstein, but obviously they were going to release the Epstein files and they were going to show us, you know, what was going on. And so when they said, well, there's nothing going on. It's not a thing. Don't worry about it, guys. You know, we had it wrong. When we told you there was all kinds of secret shit, we fucked it up. Rabbi Smoothie saying what I'm glad somebody else said it. He goes, she looks fun. The girl in the white. Yeah. She does look like a good time. Thank you very much to Anonymous Fake Dono says, rally up, chat. Do it for Vidam. Let's fucking go. And $5 from him. Thank you very much. $85 away from tonight's goal. Go ahead and rally it up. You think you can get inside of 50 by 8 o'clock? I think we'll be good there. If you guys get inside of 50 by 80 o'clock, Lady 80, 8 o'clock, I think we've got it. So go ahead and throw in your 5s, your 10s, your gifted memberships, whatever. Again, 19 gifted memberships. I have to go until 9 tonight if that happens. $1 from Fuck You Dude says, would you rather have dicks for fingers or every home on your head, I think he means hole, is a vagina? Dicks on my fingers, right? Like you'd much rather have dicks on your fingers. That's a trick question? Every hole is a vagina on you? No. Ew. That would be fucking horrible. Yeah, I want finger dicks if that's the case. Was that the wrong answer? I'm seeing LOLs popping up in the chat. I don't want to, you guys are making me very self-conscious. I feel like I gave the right answer, but I feel like I'm catching shit for having the right answer. I don't. You guys are fuck you. You're making me nervous. I feel gaslit. Sam Show says that made so little sense, but your face sold it. What? I don't want every hole on my head to be a vagina. I'd rather have dick fingers. Rabbi Smoothie says Edward Dick Hands. Right. My Lost Interest quoting me says, I want finger dicks. Yeah, if you take it out of context, it's fucked up. But it's fine the way I said it. Yeah, see, T. Duden says that cheerleader would fuck Aaron's head holes. No, he wouldn't. They're vaginas. He'd go, ew, fishy smell. I hate it. He likes it when there's a little small waft of poo going into his nasal cavities. Oh. Copper Camel Toe says vaginas for fingers and options. You don't want vagina fingers. You know how unworkable that would be? Vagina fingers are... What are you going to scissor them together? What are you going to rub like that? What the fuck are you doing? Vagina fingers make no sense. Copper Camel Toe. Come on, Copper Camel Toe. We're trying to ask the real hard-hitting questions on this program, like, would you rather have pussy face or cock fingers? Quit being ridiculous. God. It's like we try to talk about the important issues of the day, and here you are going, oh, would you want vaginas on your fingers? Stop being stupid. Ryan the Garbage Man says, Finger Dicks is going to be playing the Mercury Lounge. Oh, well, that's good. They've been, I found their summer concert series waning this year. No, Landers, I didn't say I wanted to get fingered by dicks. I said finger dicks. Das Optic Nerve says, why would you want finger dicks? If the other option is pussy face, I want finger dick. My Lost Interest says, wouldn't chafing be an issue with finger dicks? Look, man, there's a lot of issues with finger dicks. I'm not saying, look, again, oh, God damn it. I think the person who got me knows they just got me. I got to look away from the chat for a second. I'm not saying that finger dicks are in optimum existence. I'm saying that when the other option is pussy face, I'm going to go with finger dicks. I'm not happy about it. I would rather just have regular fingers, but, you know. Papa Shop says Aaron starts sucking on his thumb immediately. That's...
Okay, faggot, what's next?
That's not...
is very obviously gay. I look at him and I'm like, well, you're gay.
That's not what I...
Do you personally dislike homosexuals?
Of course, they're disgusting.
That's not what I meant. I would not be sucking on my thumb if I had dick fingers. Papa Shop. Thank you. $85 away from today's goal. Do you mind if we sprint as far away from that question as possible? I can't remember who asked it, but a pox on his house for asking the question. Let's go to the part where you guys contribute money to this show and we knock out tonight's goal and have a perfect Monday and a great start to the week. Let's do that one. And in the meantime, everybody's favorite ancient comedian curmudgeon, everyone's angry, middle-aged, alt comic, nerd neighbor, Marc Maron, did Howie Mandel's podcast. And God help me, I'm kind of agreeing with Marc Maron in a way, because Maron made a point about Rogan comics or comics who are associated with Rogan and how their shit is becoming hacky. Like their jokes are becoming hacky. Their topics are becoming hacky. And I don't want to agree with Maron because he's such a whiny, jealous bitch. But a broken clock is right twice a day. And these were his thoughts against anti-woke comics. You know, this is the risk you run when a Donald Trump becomes president. The whole point of every revolution is to dissolve itself. You know, you win the battle, you win the war, you dissolve the revolution. Trump has won. The trans sports thing and the trans bathroom thing has been pushed back. LGBT stuff and, drag story hour. You don't hear about that anymore. That's been pushed back. So now it seems like if you keep, like, especially as a comic, if you keep going after that, it does seem like you're kicking a dead horse a little bit. Let's hear Marc Maron out, and my audience can call him either a giant fucking pussy or say, you know what? I never thought I'd say this. Maybe Maron's got a point.
Jeselnik having an issue with people like Tony Hinchcliffe, who he's saying...
Jeselnik, though, is another jealous cunt, though, too. Like, Anthony Jeselnik, everything he says is kind of... It's kind of camouflaged in, I feel like I should be more successful than these guys, and I'm not, and it's upsetting. So it's got to be their fault somehow. I mean, come on. You cannot have a woke point of view as a comedian and think that the system is against you. The system is built for you. If you're an alt PC comic, that's who gets the TV deals. That's who gets all the attention. Come on. We're talking about Netflix. We're talking about the people who gave Amy Schumer multiple specials. Stop with the... To me, Jeselnik was a great writer, but he was never a great performer. And I think he maybe values himself a little more than the audience does.
Uses profanity or just shock value comedy. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, at this point, it's lazy and sloppy and hackneyed. To be in a fucking club where, I'm walking down the hall at the comedy club, at the Comedy Store, and, in one room, someone's doing their bit about trans people, and then I get down the hall and there's someone on stage going, well, I guess I got to do my bit about trans people. Like, no, you don't. You don't. It's hack now. I mean, you guys got...
I will say that, like, if I... on stage a couple weeks ago, if I would have made a trans joke, I would have said, well, I was way too fucking drunk to be on stage. That's hacky. It is kind of hacky to do trans shit now because it's like, it's everywhere. Like, it's everywhere you look. It's not very creative. Maybe I'm going to take shit from my own audience for agreeing with Marc Maron here, but I think he's right. I think in a way doing trans shit right now with Trump as president and everything else, I think it's kind of lame. I think it's been done. I'm fucking, when I say I'm tired of trans, I mean it in all ways. I mean, I'm tired of the people obsessed with the trans on one end, and I'm tired of the people obsessed with trans on the, I don't need to hear about it anymore.
The freedom you wanted. You can now say whatever you want. They're defeated. Their rights have been denied. The policies that you guys encouraged with your stupid material are now policy. And now...
Okay, but what rights? I mean, I guess we could talk about the military and shit like that. But I don't know if their rights are being denied. Like, there's states that say you can't do fucking genital mutilation on a kid. I think that if that's denying a trans kid rights, then I'm okay with denying those rights. If you see that as a right and not genital mutilation, then yeah, I'm okay with denying that right. But as far as like adult trans people, nobody gives a fuck if you're an adult and you want to transition. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to stop you. So I think he's kind of being a whiny, pissy pants liberal in that vein. But I think he raises a good point. Like if you're on stage, you're like, yeah, I'm a trans stuff, and you act like it's fucking edgy. It's not dangerous to do trans jokes anymore.
Like, half the people under the umbrella of anti-woke, we've lost a tremendous amount of democratic-leaning ideas and movements. So whether they knew it or not, that's what they were spearheading. So now it's reality, and you want to still keep kicking them? Go ahead.
I don't know that
I don't see. Where Maron loses me is he's combining the politics and the comedy way too much, and also. Like, your guys' point of view was the only one allowed in comedy clubs for the longest time, and you shunned anyone and bullied the fuck out of anyone who did stuff that offended you. This is called pushback. This is why maybe we don't go after people. We don't cancel people. If someone tells the wrong joke, we don't try to get them in trouble at the club or try to get them, to not get booked. Maybe this should be a lesson that to every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction. Maron acts like these Rogan-style comics just came out of nowhere and started doing their trans material. For a long time before that, these guys were getting canceled. They were getting told what they could say, what they couldn't say. You guys were brigading and leading campaigns against them. Unfortunately, this is the bed you made, Mark. Like, your message might be right. Maybe doing trans shit right now is hack. But I think you and your ilk did a lot to kind of create this.
Comedians have had that much power.
Are you fucking out of your mind?
No, I'm being serious.
Joe Rogan. I'm not gonna.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You can't separate. Like, if the movement is like, we're being censored. No, you're not. You're not. There's no constitution.
Not anymore. Not anymore. You're right, Mark. These guys are making a shitload of money, but they did it the hard way, pushing past guys like you. People who share opinions with you actively tried to get these guys out of work, and they pushed past that, and now they won. This is the risk you take when you start fucking with people and you start trying to take away their time on stage and all of that shit. This is kind of the risk you run. So I have a hard time. While I think he might make a decent point or two here or there, I think I'm having a hard time empathizing with Marc Maron simply because of this. He's totally ignoring the shit that his quote-unquote side, since he's making this a sides thing, he's missing the part where his side tried to control the narrative. When you try to control the narrative and you fail, you can't bitch when the other side starts making their point.
Institutional censorship.
I think he's a bitter nerd. He's a bitter alt comic who's mad that people don't want to watch alt comedy more. That the marketplace is spoken and they don't want that hip ironic shit. They want something different. And so now he's got to attack it as, hateful and it's bigoted and this and that. Is it? I don't know. Quite frankly, I don't think there is any like superstar stand-up comedian right now. I think the whole thing's been watered down so much, it's hard to really tell who the biggest guy out there is. Gillis, maybe? I don't know.
With your free speech, you say things, and in a democratic shit show of an environment, like Twitter or whatever, there's cultural pushback. And I'm not saying that it was pretty bad in terms of people getting canceled and stuff. Yeah. And I agree that was an issue, but that's a specific issue.
But that no, they're linked. They're linked, Mark. One led to the other. I can say that a lot of these guys, they're not that funny, and they would not have gotten a voice and they wouldn't have gotten an audience if you guys hadn't tried to shut them up. I think if you just would have let them compete, if you would have let them do their jokes, they probably would have fizzled out or they wouldn't have become as popular as they are. But you guys told people they were dangerous and you tried to actively get them shut out of the game. And so they went to their audience and said, I'm being persecuted for the words I'm speaking. So these jokes that you think are so hateful and terrible, your side actually made them protest statements, underdog statements that led to these guys becoming famous. You have to own that part of this. You can't complain about the result and just totally ignore the how we got here.
frame it as some sort of free speech problem was a misdirect. It wasn't.
Made it that
way. It wasn't a free speech problem. It was that people were getting cultural pushback. That is not a constitutional issue. No,
but now you're getting called. Do you see? You're full of shit. I'm sorry, Mark, but you're full of shit. I was with you on the trans jokes are hack thing, but now you're full of shit. Because you're saying when you try to get people canceled, that's cultural pushback. But when these guys, when their jokes catch on because people feel they're being attacked for their jokes, that's cultural pushback too. You can't say that when you do bullshit, it's cultural pushback, but when these people do something, well, then it's just bigoted. That's not, it's gotta be consistent across the board, dude. Otherwise, you're being intellectually dishonest.
Someone was being put in jail for saying anything. That's a free speech issue. But my problem is you're going to start.
That's a First Amendment free speech issue. Freedom of speech as a concept, as a moral, as a philosophy. If there are people who believe everyone should say what we want, we shouldn't try to cancel them. But then the other side says attack. That does become a philosophical free speech issue, maybe not a constitutional free speech issue.
Start talking about anti-woke, and that's going to be your point of view. That's going to be your ideological, grounding for what you do. Okay, that's fine. But why does it have to be the same four fucking things? It's like they talk about the same shit. And I don't know a better definition of hack. I mean, after a certain point, it's like, so what juice does the word retard really have? How much shit do you have to give trans people? What is your big problem with gay people? What's your big problem with women? It's like, what is this?
I don't think they have a problem. I think their attitude is you can joke about everything. See, you alt nerds think that everything's a fucking statement. You guys think that every fucking joke you tell should be a soliloquy, etched into stone, that it should be chiseled into a fucking rock at the side of a mountain. Whereas a lot of these other guys, they're just fucking around telling jokes on stage. You want everything to be a statement.
Fucking 80s again. And so to me, the problem is that language evolves. Okay. We don't use the word chink anymore. Well, maybe some of them.
I mean, it depends. I mean, this whole thing right here is made of chinks. That's all this is, are little chinks tied together to make chainmail. This is just a bunch of, and if there's a chink in this, I could die if I'm struck with a blunt object.
You don't use the word Oriental anymore. You don't use the word colored.
Tell that to my rug, Mark.
Anymore is that in a democratic world, people learn to treat other people with respect, communities, and live with it. So this pushback, I don't know how you frame it as anything other than.
But I think it's
Here's what I frame it as. I frame it as a bitter comedian whose day is done. And here's the thing, like Maron had a decent run. I don't know what more Maron wanted out of his career, but he did okay, right? I don't think Maron has that much to be angry about, but here we are. Dusty Rhodes with $1 says, McBuster spreading rumors about SP, hashtag ban McBuster. You did not break up, if you will. Guys, I'll let you know. All right? I'll let you. I know everyone wants to, when Aaron decides to kind of let his private life be private, then everything must be done. I'm surprised people haven't theorized that I've had my kids taken away. Because I do, but look, I do get a kick out of the internet, people. I think watching their fan fiction is, like, in a way, it's me manipulating them, but I'm not trying to. Them coming up with their fan fiction. It is entertaining. It is entertaining to look at. 85. You know what's not entertaining? The fact that we have been completely fucked since 7 o'clock. Guys, $85 away from tonight's goal. What happened? I mean, shit. We're 85 away. This is kind of like every steel toe show now is like, goals taken care of. Goals, we got this. Like $85 at 650 something, or $90 at 650 something, and we're like, pfft. So I just go off and fuck off and do a show. Because people are like, why don't you just do a show? Why don't you? All right, I did a show. We made $5 in an hour. Now we got to knock out this 85. Now I got to not so much do a show for the next half hour and try to make my fucking money to break even on tonight's show. So Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Rumble Rants, YouTube. I mean, let's fire the fucking engines back up again. Let's fire up the fryers and throw some French fries in there. I mean, as MSO says, Rut-row indeed. I'm not going to keep just thumbing through my apps here, hoping that a contribution shows up. We need to do some work here, boys and girls. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. All of a sudden, I've been rambling, doing an amazing show, being very, very funny and insightful. And all of a sudden, the time got away from me. I'm thinking we got this thing knocked down cold at 6:59. Now it's 8:03. I got 27 minutes left. I might be kind of fucked here. So let's go ahead and throw in Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. All the links are there in the chat. Beg, 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 shake, shake, shake. Thank you very much. Wally World gifting a membership. Thank you very much. Real Jax 2 got that membership. Jax, pass it along. And then we're continuing to come back down. $80 away from tonight's goal and 18 gifted memberships away from 300. And if we get to 300, it means that we are going until 9 o'clock today. T. Duden, this is not true. Speaking of fan fiction, Angelica's doll convinced that I've recently had a breakup that I didn't know about. Thank you, Angelica's doll. The fan fiction is psychotic. T. Duden, also with psychotic fan fiction, says, come on, everyone. Aaron has to pay for that trip to Turkey to get hair. I'm not going to Turkey to get hair. I'm not doing that. Historically White says, what happens if he doesn't reach the goal? I get fucking bummed and I spiral, and that becomes what we're behind for the week. And if that number gets high enough behind, then it's a loss for the month. And if that number gets high enough, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of steps, but that's ultimate failure for the toe. Easiest way to keep the toe going, easiest way to keep the toe in good shape is to just knock out the goal. That's why we say the goal is life. Thank you very much, Real Jax 2, for the gifted membership. He's passing it along. Keep passing those gifted memberships along. 17 away from 300, 75 away from tonight's goal, and Dusty Rhodes, baby, got the gifted membership. Dusty, pass that one along.
And there will be gorilla shit all over the Omni.
Thank you, buddy. Pants Maestro says, not with that attitude, you won't. Well, come on, baby. Throw us a couple of bucks and let's knock this thing out. We're $75 away. Oh, now we're $70 away. Anonymous fake dono with another $5. That's a different anonymous fake dono. Thank you. $70 away from tonight's goal. Keep it going. Only 70. Couple more big drop-ins, and we got this. Historically White says, I thought you were going to say that a bookie will break your legs. I mean, would that help you throw in $5 or $10? Because then I'll say it. Like I said, the goal is life. The goal is the only problem I have. Show is fun. Show is great. Fans are awesome. They're a lively bunch. It's just that goddamn goal. And once it gets to 0, I feel good. People are saying, Aaron, we know you're not going to Turkey. Go to India. They'll treat you better. I'm not going anywhere for hair treatment. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going for hair treatment. Yeah, Angelica's doll, that was different. I talked about a lot of that stuff before I started getting legit stalkers. And like psychos who like want me fucking dead. It's creepy. It's weird. And sometimes people in your life say, hey, these people are fucking psychotic. And what the fuck are they going to do to me? Not me, but like, and they say, just kind of, Angelica's doll, you got to admit, Steel-toe derangement syndrome is a real thing, and there's a lot of very psychotic sufferers. If you can't admit that, I think you might have a bit of a mental problem, to be honest with you. All right, guys, 70 away from today. Let's do it. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Pants Maestro says Turkey does good work, Toe. Never say never. I'm gonna let it go gracefully. I'm going to let it go gracefully. Rabbi Smoothie, it's a little different with April. She was on the show. It's a little different when the person's the co-host, you know? Comfortably Numb with $9.99 says, just say no to toupees. I'm not wearing a toupee, so I have said no to toupees. Comfortably Numb, we're fine. $65 away from tonight's goal. Keep it moving, keep it going. Keep gifting those memberships. Keep throwing in a couple of bucks. This thing can be done. $65 away from tonight. MSO says a couple of months ago, Bad Chad went to Turkey for hair transplant. I'm not going to Turkey. I don't need a hair transplant. I'm not getting one. You got it. Guys, you got to believe me. T. Duden says, I always root for you, Aaron. You hit 250 pounds. You can get... I weigh 223 pounds. I'm 6'3". That's not a crazy weight. I don't need to defend myself from the likes of you, you piece of shit. Wally World says, just wear a beanie like Tim Pool. I have way more fucking hair than Tim Pool. You stop it. You stop it. Sam Show says, so this look, it's on purpose? How's that? You happy? You broke me down. You broke me down and you made me do this. Rabbi Smoothie with $5 says, get yourself a nappy ass weave, bro. I don't need a weave. I'll be fine. Pants Maestro simply says, you need something on that head. But here's the problem, Pants Maestro. If I put on a hat, you're going to go, oh, so now you're putting up a hat? Now you're fucking, now you're ashamed and you're going to put a hat on and you're just going to run away like that? That's bullshit, dude. You're better than that. That's not... $60 away from tonight's goal. Thank you very much. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. I appreciate it. Angelica's doll, you have to drop this unhealthy obsession. Everyone's fine. You have to fucking chill. You sound fucking crazy. I might have to give you a break because you're creeping me out just a little. My Lost Interest says a 6'3" individual weighing 235 pounds is considered obese on the body mass index. I'm far away from 235 pounds. I'm 223 pounds. I'm not anywhere close to 235. Thank you very much. MSO says, Crunchy has more hair on her ass. I don't know if that's a statement that Crunchy has a remarkably hairy ass or that I have no hair on my head. Thank you very much, Rabbi Smoothie. You are up to $63, very close to first place. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, guys. $60 away from tonight's goal. We got 20 minutes left. Throw in a few bucks and we got this thing knocked out. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. Everybody with $10, everybody with $5, everybody with a gifted membership. We're very close. Let's take it down. We've got, we do have a fight between Mark Levin and Marjorie Taylor Green. Fun. Did you guys hear that AOL shut down their dial-up service today? That's sad. I didn't know that dial-up service was still a thing. I didn't know that AOL was still, I didn't even know AOL was still fucking around. But the AOL dial-up internet service of the World Wide Web's early days is coming to an end. The company, owned by Marc Rowan-led asset management giant Apollo Global, will discontinue the seldom used service September 30th. That means it is still being used. Some people are still using AOL dial-up. AOL routinely evaluates its products and services and has decided to discontinue dial-up internet. This service will no longer be available in AOL plans. Fuck. Remember how cool it was to take up your parents' phone line and it found out a girl, you know, you got that, the door open sound effect, and it was a girl you liked from school, and she was on AOL Instant Messenger, and you waited to see if she would say hi to you first because you didn't want to say hi right away because you didn't want to like jump right on her as soon as she got in. And then, of course, you'd send the message, and then you get the bloop, and you get the notification that she sent one back. Those were the days. That was a heart flutter kind of an experience back in the day, man. And then she turned out to be a guy. And that was really where that's really where it got fucked up. You guys never had that? You never had the one where they turned out to be, well, it was, a long time ago. MSO says my first internet access was an AOL CD that used to give out first month free dial-up. Dude, how many of those? When I was a little kid, we got so many of those sent to our house that I'd take those discs and I'd duct tape them to belts, and I'd make like wrestling championship belts when I was like 11 or 12 out of the AOL like 50 free hours of internet service CDs. That was because it was so slow. Like 50 hours of internet was nothing. Like you could maybe download one picture in 50 hours. Baba Shab says that's actually retarded. I was like an 11-year-old kid in the 90s. How fucking cool was that to make yourself a wrestling championship belt out of AOL CDs? Don't sit here and be like, oh, it's fucking gay, dude. That's retarded. No, it's not. It's totally fine. It's okay to do that. Anonymous Fake Dono with $5 says a person who is 6'3" and weighs 223 pounds is considered overweight with a body mass index of 227. Maybe cut back on eating a whole frozen pizza by yourself. I don't do that. I don't eat a whole frozen pizza by myself, but thank you, you son of a bitch, for making me feel terrible. $55 away from tonight's goal. Guys, we got 15 minutes left. We're only $55 away. Keep going. Keep moving. Send in those Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. And let's get that perfect Monday for the toe going. Just about $50 away. In other words, 10 gifted memberships on Rumble, or just drop a 10 or a 20. Hobo Chili Recipe says, wow, you were that poor. Well, I wasn't going to let old CDs go to waste, for God's sake. Jesus. Lander says, Aaron, cum does have lots of calories when consumed by the gallon. That is comically ridiculous. You're saying that I would take a gallon somehow of jizz, like how you would accumulate a gallon of semen is ridiculous. But then that I would walk around drinking it your premise is faulty. Papa Shab says, was the AOL championship a gimmick that's just a sponsor thing that will never be mentioned again, like the UFC BMF belt? No, it was my friends and I would have, I have a friend who had 3 large trampolines all back to back, and we would have wrestling matches where we would play WWE the music in the CD player, and we would each have our intro music. I always like to use the Road Dogs entrance theme, and we would do matches, and we would have belts. That's nothing wrong with that. That's not gay. That's fine. That's something a bunch of 12-year-old kids did, which is okay for kids to do. Thank you. And it wasn't the AOL championship. It was just a belt we made. That's all. Hold on. Somebody had something very disparaging about Crunchy, and I can't find it now. I was asking how you accumulate a gallon worth of cum. MSO says, want to accumulate a gallon of semen? Ask Crunchy. She's not even here to defend herself. Not even here to defend herself. Help us knock out the last $55 for today and make it a perfect Monday. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Do it. Help out. I want to win. I used to do that too. We'd jump off a roof, says Historically White. Well, then I was more the WCW to your ECW. Put it that way. Nomo says AOL Championship was lit. You know it, fam. Pantsmeister says, oh, so you've always been gay. Cool. Bro, if having fake wrestling matches on your buddy's trampoline while you wrestle for belts and come out to WWE The Music Volume 2 is gay, then yeah, we were the gayest kids in the world. Girls would sometimes watch. Sometimes girls were over and we'd have the wrestling match. We were 12. It's not. Could you knock out the $55 for that at least? Could we at least could we get some contributions and knock out this measly $55 in the next 12 minutes for at least telling these stories? Please throw a couple of bucks in. That would be nice. Papa Shab says, you're a fucking loser, bro. Dude, we played fun games. Dude, we're not a fucking loser. We were the cool kids in our school. Believe it or not, we were pretty fucking cool. Yep. Everyone wanted to hang out with these guys. Thank you, Bobby Joe Brown, for gifting 5 memberships. Keep doing that. Keep it going. Thank you guys very much. $40 away from tonight's goal. Let's go. Thank you very much. $40 away from another win for the toe. Throw it in. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. Oh. Hobo Chili Recipe says, these stories sound far-fetched, dude. Far-fetched. I mean, nobody's making up stories like this to make themselves sound good. Put it that way. How do you go to another story after this? T. Duden says, was the loser of your wrestling the one who came first? There was nobody was coming. It wasn't gay. It was fun. It was a athletic competition. My Lost Interest says, you were the cool kids? Shaking my head. Well, maybe not in the wrestling to WWF The Music Volume 2 days. Maybe we weren't the cool kids then. Maybe it was more like, when we were playing baseball and basketball and football and shit. Come to think of it, it really was once we dropped the wrestling. Oh, check this out. In like 6th or 7th grade, my buddy Tyler was like, dude, you know how you get girls? And he was wearing a Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt, and I was wearing a Goldberg shirt, and he was telling us how to get girls. And one of our teachers, remember we're like 12 or 13, one of our teachers walks by both of us, and he was so disgusted listening to 2 little kids talk about getting girls. He's like, you want girls to like you? Don't wear wrestling shirts to school like a couple of dorks. And it was loud enough for everyone to hear, and we just sat there. Me with my Goldberg shirt and him with his Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt. Just felt so embarrassed that we got called out by our teacher. And he was gay. It was Mr. Milbauer. Mr. Milbauer, our gay science teacher, who told my parents at conferences, quote, Aaron reminds me a lot of myself at his age. Fuck me, right? Walter with $20 says, good show, Toe. Thank you, Walter, for the 20. We want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga. Holy shit, guys. That means we are $20 away from tonight's goal. Who wants to help get us there? $20 away. Thank you so much. I think I might just play around in the chat for the rest of the show. You guys are fucking funny. Oh, My Lost Interest says Aaron playing the fake wrestling with his boyfriends in between making a latch hook rug of Casey and the Sunshine. Rabbi Smoothie says he really did part it down the middle. You guys weren't joking. All right, I'm not fucking. I'm wearing a hat tomorrow. I'm wearing a fucking hat tomorrow. Papa Shab says Aaron wearing a Gold Dust shirt makes a lot of sense in retrospect. Goldberg, not Gold Dust. Don't you fucking dare. McBuster says Mr. Milbauer fucked Aaron. No, Mr. Milbauer did not fuck Aaron. I did say fag in his class once, though, and I got in a lot of trouble. He really didn't like that word. He didn't. Landers says, wait, how do you know the teacher was gay? Because he wore like wristbands and had an earring, and one of the first things he told us in his class is that you weren't allowed to say gay. Like, put two and two together, basically, is what we did. Milbauer was gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but he was gay. Aaron was wearing Goldschlagert on the small of his back like a stripper. That's not, I wasn't doing that. Von Kaiser says, why are you telling us this? Because we're hitting the goal. We're only $20 away. This has been great for the goal. What's good for the goal is good for the content, is good for the gander. The goal is life. Throw us $20 and call it another win for the toe. Thank you, boys and girls. Taste Fairy Ialto says WWF Aggression was the best WWF album. It was good. It was good. T. Duden says, did that teacher tell you he was gay or did he show you? He wasn't. We just knew. I mean, we just kind of knew. Von Kaiser says, do you have an Adrian Adonis shirt? I don't get it. Why would I have an Adrian Adonis shirt? Von Kaiser, why don't you tell me? Landers says, did he teach you the finer arts of the gag reflex? I mean, technically that's scientific, but no. No, he did not. Did he touch you in your private places? No, he was a decent human being. He was a good guy. He just, ran afoul of God's laws. That's all. No, I don't invite that teacher over for Christmas, MSO. That's not. I think you guys took a very lovely, innocent story and you turned it into something disgusting. And you know what? You should be ashamed of yourself. $20 away from tonight's goal. All right, you guys go ahead and throw in $5, $10, $20. Throw in some gifted memberships. Let's do another $20 and call it a win for the toe and a perfect day for a Monday. Thank you guys very much. Let's finish it up. People are giving this meteorologist shit. This is a Minnesota story, by the way. This happened here. This guy was doing like special reports. Like meteorologists, they look forward to like tornadoes and severe thunderstorms and hurricanes and shit because that's their time to shine and they can put together their sizzle reel. Well, this meteorologist in Minnesota was informing people on tornado activity. And there were intense storms in the area, and it was his job to report on it. While he was doing that, his wife was, I guess, home with their young child. They have a 6-month-old baby. And the wife was texting him about the 6-month-old baby, and he answered on air. He looked at his phone, he answered it. And now people are giving him shit, like people are complaining, trying to get him fired because he responded to his wife on the air. Like, the tornado ain't going to hit your fucking trailer in the 9 seconds it takes for him to respond to his wife while he's raising a 6-month-old child. You'll be fine. This is what the guy did that's got him in such deep shit.
Your co-op map, Zumbrota, again, 735 customers impacted over there. And just looking at Rochester Public Utilities right now, only one outage so far.
Look at that. He wasn't even the guy talking at the time. He had a break in the action. He sent a text to his wife about she needs to know what time he's going to be home. They've got a 6-month-old at home. Totally fine for him to be doing this.
So we'll keep tracking the weather outages as they come. But for right now, looks like Xcel Energy and Goodhue
That's
County
literally
Electric,
all he did.
Seeing the most outages at this moment.
All right, thanks, Zach, for that. Sorry, I just had to text my wife. Baby was sleeping well tonight, so that's going to be over with at this point in time.
Okay. So his wife was updating him on how the baby was doing. Big fucking deal. You can't let him. That's unprofessional. You shouldn't be letting him do that while he's on the... Get fucked. The guy's staying overtime. He's updating you. You know what? I would give them bad information on the tornado. I would tell them the tornado was headed in the opposite direction and then encourage them to go outside and look, knowing that it's coming right for them. Jesus, the entitlement to these fucking people. The guy is sitting there overnight updating you on a storm. He's got a 6-month kid at home, and the wife wants to get his attention for something, and you're going to be like, oh, it's unprofessional behavior. He ought to be fired. Go fuck yourself. That guy is more than fine. 383 Novocaine with $2. Thank you very much. Come on, guys, $20 away from knocking out tonight's goal. Please do it. Please knock it out. Let's get $20 in there. We're too close to a win for the toe. We're too close from a perfect Monday to let this slip through our fingers. 383 Novocaine with $2 says Aaron after waking up to his trip from India. Oh, God. Throw in money, Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Let's go. $20. Finish it off. 2 minutes to go.
Oh, man, I just had the weirdest dream.
This is not, I'm not going to get fucking demonetized because we're going to do a 6-minute long Joe Dirt clip when I'm $20 away from failure or perfection today. $15 away from failure or perfection. Wally World gifting a membership. 16 gifted memberships away from 300 and from us going to 9 o'clock tonight. Keep going. $15 away. That means 3 gifted memberships on Rumble. That means a $20 drop on Rumble or YouTube. That means 15 in Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo. Come on, finish it off in the next minute, and let's call it a perfect night and a perfect morning and evening for the toe. I think we did a spectacular job today. I thought tonight's show was as good as it gets. So go ahead and reward us with banging out that goal. If you've got a little something extra sitting around, the toe doesn't mind taking it. $4.99 from Comfortably Numb says, take the rest of my pizza money, toe. I will do that. $10 away from tonight's goal. Make it go. Make it happen. $10 away. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. 1 minute left. 1 minute to go. 2 gifted memberships. $10 away. Knock it out. Call it a W. Let's do it, boys and girls. Come on, who's got that 5 and 10? Who's got that 5 and 5? Do it and let's go. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Hit it and call it a W. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Throw in a couple. Only 10 away. I'll take it. I almost said I'll take it all. That would have been, see, now that would have been gay again. That would have been, I would have caused myself more gayness at that point. Come on. Come on. Let's do the 10. Let's do the 10. 5 and 5. 5 and 5. Let's do this thing. Gifted memberships. Let's go. I ain't leaving. I ain't leaving 10 away. Thad, if you don't like it, you don't have to be here, my man. This is how we do it on the toe, baby. $10 away. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, Rumble Rants. Who's going to be the one to break the monotony of this nonsense and get us the W? Because now it's ego. Now it's pride. Now it's just me. It ain't even the math on this one. It ain't even the math. It's just getting out of here with that 10. $9 from Wally World. That means we're $2 away. $2 away from the fucking goal. You piece of shit. Wally World writes, suffer. That's mean. That's fucking mean. You know, there's nothing stopping me from just saying I miscounted. And it's another win for the toe. There's nothing to stop anyone from just throwing in an extra $2 and calling it another win for the toe. You know what? I appreciate the humor. Let's call it a night. Thank you guys so much. You guys are fucking evil. That's mean-spirited. You know what I'm doing? I make the rules. $2 is inside of $5. That means it's another win for the toe, and it's a perfect Monday.
But I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
My lost interest with $1 says Suggs. All right, now we're $1 away. It's a win for the toe. $1 away is a win for the toe. You know, I miscounted earlier. I miscounted by $1. So we did get ourselves the win, I believe. So it is a perfect Monday. Thank you guys very much. Lander says you can't cheat MSO out of his official win. No. I'm calling it a tie at $1. 383 Novocaine with $1 says start at 120 toe. Well, now it's officially a win.
But I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
There we go. Now it's a win for the toe. Thank you, guys. Look what they do for the lion heart. Look what they do for the toe. And no, Cockdiff, Carl won't love this. He's too busy paying for lawyers now because he's being sued. Ha ha ha. I told you, if you fucking play this internet shit and you're just a loser and a goon who doesn't do his own content, you just rely on other people, it will always bite you in the ass. I'm always fucking right. Don't fucking doubt me ever. I've got these people by the fucking balls. I'm right before any of you ever know that I'm right. It was foretold to me by the gods. You don't know shit. I educate you. I tell you what needs to be done and when it will be done. All right, start at 120, toe. All right, here you go. I will play this because this knocked out the goal today. Thank you. This is apparently me coming back from India. I'm not coming back from India looking like that. I'm not, first of all, I'm not going to India. I'm not going to Turkey. I'm not going to any of these places where they do hair transplants. I'm not doing it. Real Jack says, don't part your hair down the middle and I'll donate tomorrow. Hey, I need every dono I can get. You got it, buddy. You got it. Anawal says, is that why he's being sued? Yes, because he fucked around and he found out. So, again, Aaron tells you this shit, but Aaron's a dumb guy. You go ahead, hop around on your club foot and walk your baby nuts down the block, but you're not going to get to the end of the road being as retarded as you are. Another win for the toe, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow morning. Thank you. And no, I'm not getting breast implants. Thank you for knocking it out. It's another win for the toe. A perfect Monday. See you tomorrow.